Okay, welcome everybody to our session 0 of masks. I believe the overlay should be working and sound should be working.
I'm checking.
I'm messing with the cameras for a second and it should be good now.
It's all good.
Okay, my camera is not good. Everyone
Oh yeah,
else's
you're
is.
you're slightly off.
I think it's after I moved it got weird. Then we're good.
Oh, so am I.
Oh yeah. I think when I switched the camera between which monitor it was showing in and somehow that changed how it was appearing. There we go. Anyways, while I fix this, for those who don't know and can't tell from the overlay, who wants to introduce masks?
I think you just did.
Yeah,
Carried the lead.
it's masks. You're teenage superheroes, and what you do isn't really. We haven't got there yet.
The game isn't so much or about fighting crime, though there's definitely a lot of fighting.
It is a superhero game.
Well,
We should
Being
state.
Yeah, if fighting's a thing, I shouldn't be good at it, right?
It's a whole. That's up for debate.
Yeah.
It's imagine being a teenager, but also having superpowers and having to deal with that at the same time.
Yes. Masks is a teenage superhero drama. It is equal parts teenage drama and superhero and young superhero show.
Which, to be fair, most young superhero shows are now teenage dramas.
Especially the good
So
ones.
it works out.
This is a game that is set in, and we will be playing it in, Halcyon City, which is basically the Metropolis equivalent. It's not usually as dark as Gotham, though we can talk about that. But it's the city filled with superheroes, the New York of Marvel, for example, where there's just heroes everywhere all the time. There have been multiple generations of heroes, I think 3 or 4 of them before you, and you are part of the up-and-coming new generation of heroes, and a lot of the game is sort of defining who you are among the chorus of voices and people telling you who you should be. For good and for ill. And we're going to talk about what we want this campaign to look like. We'll be just doing session 0 this week, talking about our characters, creating them, how our team came together, what we do and don't want in the game, and other ideas we might have. So, I think we will kick it off by introducing the ideas we have for our characters. I think we each have some fully formed and some partially formed, but we all have some ideas for the characters already. Indigo, you go first.
Okay, I have a one-word idea, really, and it's dead. I want to be dead.
I want to be deceased.
It started with zombie, and I thought, you know what? That's not interesting enough. Zombies have other things besides being dead, and that's not their core thing. There's some either mysticism or science magic somewhere along those lines, making them zombies, and I just want to be conveniently deceased as my core
moving,
power, and
still talking and feeling.
Conveniently deceased. Like you pick, you look at any situation, you ask what's more convenient, being alive or dead. And...
Yeah. Do you need to get your driver's license? You're dead, so you can't. But you also don't have to take your school test.
Nope, I'm dead. Sorry. Dead kids don't take tests.
Dead kids don't take tests.
How much of a motivation is consuming brains for you?
Oh, zero.
Okay, good.
I intend to solve most problems by walking in a straight line. And what are they going to do to me? Kill me again?
I mean, they might.
I don't think this is going to go well every time,
That's
obviously. Fair. But I do think that is going to be my main crime-fighting tactic.
Is just ignore the damage. Okay.
Yeah, ignore. But the idea is that I'm a protege superhero, so like the Powered by the Apocalypse style playbooks, you're a protege. there's someone totally not Batman, who I have not figured out who they are, what they do, or what they look like.
But
that I was-
yeah, continue.
we have a shared ability, probably something real lame like detective work or heroing, and then I wasn't good enough at that, so they killed me. Um,
I might have issues with your mentor.
maybe we'll find out.
Yeah, actually, that's a good question. Is your mentor a hero?
Yes, because there's a different playbook if they're a villain.
That's
That's
fair. Technically, in the text, I level check. I don't think Protege actually says your mentor has to be a hero.
They
So
are.
you
Okay.
are
They're
a
a well-known. They're like one of the big heroes in the setting.
Okay.
Are you? The fact that they killed you, is that like a secret, a dirty secret, or is that
I
just
don't
yeah?
know.
No,
It's
and I
gonna.
killed.
We'll find out by the end of session 0. But like, it's whatever the more interesting thing would be. Like in a world where superheroes are big and they have like media coverage and like they sell toothpaste, then it would be a cool secret that they secretly killed me. But if it like heroes are a little bit lower brow on society, then it could be like
Okay.
we had to get stronger. It kind of depends on the setting, what the more interesting option on whether or not it's a secret.
So
Yeah, like-
we'll wait to flesh that out till later this session.
Yeah, it depends on the setting.
Okay.
Like if it's corporate toothpaste and car commercial superheroes, then obviously that's something they would want to keep under wraps.
Yeah, if it's like the boys universe style,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
Okay. Who are you gonna toss the ball to now, Indigo? You pick who goes next.
I don't know everyone else's playbooks. I don't know.
Let's call it a name.
Next,
Yeah,
I'm gonna call the protege character right around senior in high school. Like, end of high school, start of college. You're not really sure because
he's dead.
superheroing's the job now, and
Yeah.
dead people don't get older. So there's that. Whoever the next closest to that age point would be.
Who's closest to death?
uh,
Not me.
So Zen will be last.
Yeah, apparently.
I mean, I think a guy throwing black holes might be close to death.
Sure. I
There you
think
go,
you
you're
mentioned you were
next.
kind of older as well.
Yeah, I was thinking like probably like junior year of high school. Like
in grades, what is that?
oh god,
Like 16, 17?
11.
yeah, like
Yeah,
16,
it's-
17.
Yeah.
Yes, grade 11 for you Canucks.
Junior?
Also,
what else would you
You're
call them?
also the English system goes, yeah. I think.
Just tell us how many years of school you have left. That's probably the easiest.
Yeah.
One more after
One
this
more
one.
after this one's done. Yeah.
Yes.
Second. Oh, you're in your second to last year.
It's a penultimate graduation.
Yes.
Yeah. Who are you?
Yeah, I'm basically gonna play the same character I played last time we tried to play this.
No one knows who that
but,
is. Try again.
But I
Yeah.
so
Explain character.
he is a son of a superhero, Mother Time,
Okay.
right? And then he has powers over gravity. He's got gravitokinesis, is what I learned what it's called. So he throws out black holes, maybe occasionally a white hole, and then maybe a wormhole or two. Depends on how much he can control his powers. But he's a nova, so not well.
Not well. You have massive uncontrollable gravity powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And usually
Safe.
like gravity zone powers, like super
Yeah.
super dangerous gravity control powers.
Star-based gravity powers. Very safe to be around in
Yeah.
close
If you
environments.
use your powers, the building's coming down.
If I turn it on and off really fast, it'll just
Just
slightly.
slow
It'll be fine.
gravity.
You'll just, fracture it so it'll collapse within 10 years. But not
Yeah,
long.
that's fine. Yeah,
Okay.
and that's it, I think.
And of course, yeah, you mentioned you're a Nova.
Hmm.
Perfect. Who are you tossing it to next?
Let's go to Marissa. If we're going closest to death, I think.
We've been talking a lot about media. We've been talking a lot about space. I am the Star playbook, and in both cases, that is relevant. So I'm looking at a character. The Star playbook is all around publicity, being a celebrity, living up to audience expectations, and seeing how well that works. I'm tweaking, or not tweaking, playbook straight, but twisting the celebrity just a little bit, because a lot of the time the Star is, you love the spotlight, go for the spotlight, and in this case, I'm going more a matter of what I am representing as a Star is just openness and honesty. So basically, I've got a 24/7, I've got a button for bathrooms, and I have this amount of time per day, not live stream, but live audio feed going.
Yeah, I'm calling it live casting for an audio only.
So you have like a radio station that they can tune into to hear you like yell at your mom on the phone?
Yep. and
the entire thing is a matter of here you can see what the life of a superhero is really.
You can hear, you cannot see.
Yeah, so you're a podcaster. You're a hero podcaster.
You're a live
podcaster.
And the reason that it is hear and not see is because the ability I'm going with is light control. So,
Oh.
Alright.
So your powers are light control. Perfect. Anything else you want to tell us about right now?
I think it'll all come out as we fiddle with audience or with backstory and actually fill in the questions about the playbook.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
On to you.
Yeah, I guess that leaves me. I will be playing the newborn. They are a new form of life that has been just created. They have a basic understanding of the world around them, but no in-depth stuff. They'll be fumbling around trying to figure out how to human, as well as how world work.
Perfect.
I struggled kind of a little bit trying to figure out how to make a new form of life, because this playbook really leans into, well, you're some kind of AI or something. I didn't want to do that. So
you've done that.
Yeah, I've been there. So instead of that, I am a composite of every interaction that was ever had by a holographic interface at a museum.
Perfect.
So
Specifically, the Museum of Superheroes. So, like, I know a lot about superheroes and what they're about, but only the public, like, story.
Yeah.
Not what they're really like.
Yeah, you know the stuff they tell to grade school kids when they come visit.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't tell about, like, Ultraman's drug problem, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's only the, like, publicly acceptable story of the exploits of all of the ages of heroes.
You have to buy Ultraman's like daughter's book to learn about the drug problem that
My Ultra Life. It's called.
Yep.
So being that they are a being of solid light projection is one of their powers. Mostly just throwing light beams and things like that, but also, since they're made of solid light, they can control their own body.
The only one who can't shoot lasers.
I mean,
You are
I
the
don't
only
have
one.
hard light,
So we got 3 that can shoot lasers. All right.
So
Listen.
yeah, black holes can warp light. So technically,
lasers.
we've got 3 different powers that interact with light one
This is
way
just
or the other.
Marvels. This is what the Marvels is.
I'm tempted to just change mine to fire at this point because I was already
No.
on the edge of light.
I like the idea that we're all light based except for the dead one. That's it.
I know my mentor's ability. Laser.
Laser.
That's the one you don't have.
That's the power I don't have from the mentor.
Perfect.
Instead, I'm dead.
Yep.
Oh my god.
He's just like, okay, yeah, catch this laser, and you're like, you'll bounce it
I
back
al-
at me, and then
I
you just
already know our
hide.
team name. I already know our team name is like pyrotechnics.
There's so many options for that.
Really, the only other detail that I've filled out so far is who my caretaker is, because I have a caretaker who's outside of the team, and that is a retired Golden Age hero. I don't know exactly who they are yet, but I know that they want to give my character enough freedom to make their own choices, but still
Okay.
want to like guide them down the right path.
So they're pretty like um it sounds like what you're describing is their primary thing is like your guided autonomy. Like they seem to value you.
Within reason. I think they're skeptical of calling him Glitch at this point, of Glitch's existence, but it's kind of a wait and see thing. In my head, I don't know if you guys have watched Justice League Unlimited,
Yes.
but Green Arrow from Justice League Unlimited, like a little bit liberal, uh, hesitant to believe authority, that kind of thing.
Okay.
But overall, just they want people to be able to live their lives how they want to live their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So pretty freedom focused, not to extreme, but yeah.
Yeah, a healthy distrust of authority as well, because
When I think
I
of
have to build that into all my characters.
for masks, what does Silver Age and Golden Age look like? Like, are we on a decline for heroes? Are we currently the Bronze Age, or was Golden Age just before us?
Well, Golden Age in comic superhero things doesn't necessarily mean a height, if that makes sense. It's, from my understanding, it's just more a generational sort of stereotype of what those type of heroes did, the stories they engaged in. I don't think
I
Golden's
guess I'm
like
wondering if
first
masks
wave.
does the book actually define
it does.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me pull that up.
So the 50s is more 40s to 50s golden age, and I
Yeah, when
think
are
we should stick with like gold, silver, bronze, and not the years, just because if we want to play current year, it gets a little weird.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the gold age is basically, chasing street level crime, chasing around bank robbers and whatnot, those types of adventures.
Yeah, Batman, the animated series would be Golden Age because most of the time he's just fighting thugs. Occasionally there were bigger things like aliens and robots, but usually it was more down to earth. It
Yeah.
was it was very threat of the week, but not cities threatening in and of itself usually.
Okay.
Then Silver Age came along, and that was more bigger, basically a higher tier of everything is what Silver Age is known as.
It was more like national. I think the book describes them as like civically active and minded, like that kind of thing. And then the Bronze Age is universe and world shattering events, big, powerful, like spandex clad, big pecs, big tits kind of 90s comics.
And we're on the. So where are we?
I'm looking at Bronze Age right now, and Silver Age. It looks like Silver Age was high tier of like you're fighting things that are threatening time itself, and then Bronze Age is basically re-examining what it means to be a hero. So that is more, I think, social issues from what I can see.
So I swapped them. Okay.
Yeah. And then there's modern. Then there's a fourth one that is modern generation.
Yeah, that would be us.
Yeah.
By standard default, that would be us.
In the Masks book, it says, these are people still up and coming. They might be like very slightly older than you, but it's still not quite defined. And I'm thinking like you guys would later be considered near the tail end of this generation that hasn't been defined yet.
We should just. You want to start from from 0 on Halcyon City? Because
Yeah.
the facts we have, in my opinion, we can correct me if I'm wrong, that have laid out so far about Halcyon City. It's a big metropolis.
Yes, it's a big metropolis, over 10 million people according to the book.
Yeah, big metropolis. Superheroes are not new.
Correct.
Those are like the two things we've said so far about Halcyon City.
Yep.
Those are like the only two facts I can think of.
It has issues, and it's not perfect in many ways.
What kind of issues? Like, is crime even the biggest issue anymore? Because, like, is crime the problem?
I think we might want to answer that as we answer the playbook questions and how we came together as a team.
Yeah,
okay.
I think let's put that on hold for now.
You do playbook and then setting?
We can. I think so, because that
playbook really informs.
Playbook will inform it, and we might be accidentally answering some of the playbook questions already when we get into Halcyon. So
Heard.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I think we should probably fill out our playbooks is the first thing.
Okay.
Go through all of that.
Do we want to do? Where do we want to start on the playbook? Special moves, just what the character looks like, or the actual questions?
Looking like I think we'll probably do last, because that'll be sort of like presenting the final, or at least final for now, because you'll change over the course of the game, version of your character. But we started with Indigo, so I'm going to go back to the protege.
All right.
So you proved yourself to an experienced hero. They think you've got what it takes, to a degree, given that they killed you. I'm going to interrupt.
Yep.
They've been training you for a while, and now you have to decide, do you want to be them, or will you find your own path? So
I think I know what stopped the whole training arc. I think I know exactly where
maybe
we diverged.
Yeah, you may now be like, I don't know if I want to be like the person who perhaps shot me with a laser. Maybe. Hypothetically.
Lasered me to death.
Hypothetically lasered me to death.
You can have that separate I'm undead.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
So, I think the first thing that happens would be defining the abilities. You mentioned your mentor's ability will be lasers. Your own ability will be death.
Dead.
What's your shared ability? Did we describe? You haven't fully set that.
See, I kind of... Detective seems like the easiest one.
Seems like it could be fun.
I'm hesitating on detective because it seems like the easiest one, but also it seems like someone has to do actual superhero work out of the three other characters.
We don't have a tank yet in terms of someone who can just take hits.
There is one on here called power mimicry, which might be interesting.
Oh yeah, if you just want more lasers.
You can mimic other people's powers because you died.
Or maybe that's something to do with power.
I mean, that's the shared power.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a shared power that's like detective makes the most sense. But I'm trying to think of something that is just as utility focused as detective. But
I mean, weapons and gadgets are very useful. Body elasticity feels like it'd be weird when combined with dead, but not bad.
That would be gross.
Okay.
I can throw my arm.
Depends how obviously you're dead.
I do plan on Frankensteining my way through problems as well. So I'm very obviously dead.
I already have a fastball special in mind of where I throw a black hole near you that launches you toward the enemy.
Good, yes.
You could go with intimidation and fear, and then that's something you both do in very different ways now.
I think hacking would be funny, though.
Hacking would be fun, yes.
Just because, like, there's no real benefit.
You just grab both of the wires and use yourself as the thing in between them, as you're not bothered by the, like... huge current.
I'm gonna jack into this computer and just shove a wire into brain.
I'm in.
But I think it might have to be detective skills just for the sheer practicality of having detective skills
someone
in
who
a
can do that.
superhero setting.
Someone
needs to know how to track a criminal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
As
So,
we're
yeah.
talking about powers, I am going to jump in here. I think I am going to swap out of light control and go to flame control, just because I don't want to steal any of the thunder of hard light. And because light control does turn into a little bit of a weak version of that power.
You're always an immolator.
Listen,
There's
we can
light.
still be called pyrotechnics. We can still
That's
be called
true.
pyrotechnics.
I don't understand why you didn't go. Is sound control not a thing? Like you're
It is, but I was not so keen on it. It seemed boring to me, honestly.
What about? I don't know. I don't know how you would phrase the concept of wave control.
Oh, that's totally a thing. Like vibration is totally a power I've seen.
I'm just thinking about what if your thoughts came out as radio waves.
Oh my god, it's less that you have like a radio station and you're transmitting all the time.
Awful. I'm going to stick with flame control right now.
I mean, yeah, obviously your character, but like, I just thought that'd be very funny if your brain waves directly translated to radio waves or Wi-Fi. Even brain Wi-Fi would be good too, like local access network me.
That'd be so bad if
Does
we're
that mean
trying
there's
to
an
like.
input channel?
I mean,
Yeah,
obviously
can you just
could
upload a
drop
virus to her
You
brain?
just drop files in, yeah, of course.
If we're trying to hide our base, they're just looking around and like, oh, I got a Wi-Fi.
I got a
hit."
signal. Okay, so let's finish up with this column for the protege. So we have your shared ability, we have the abilities down, but then also your mentor embodies and denies specific labels. What do you think they embody and deny?
I feel like they embody danger.
I mean, they're lasers. They're a laser detective. Like that's just the hero.
I could see
detective.
superior.
Yeah, I was thinking they embody superior just because like those are the biggest.
Yeah, and
I'm picturing the crime scene / taking care of crime as one action for them. They show up, they figure out who did it, they shoot a laser from like miles away, problem solved. Like there is no in between.
yeah,
So
they just use
dread.
lasers to scan everything from a distance, and then they've figured it out.
And then they laser the person who did it. It's the
Perfect.
ultimate crime fighter.
I feel like then they have to reject mundane because they are not comforting and supporting anyone.
Could be
here.
mundane, could be reject savior if they're just lasering people from like
that's true.
a
Yeah.
while
Yeah, they're
away.
very pragmatic. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, you did crime, laser beam.
That would make sense for
up
also
to you
why
which
they
one.
killed you. You made one misstep. They're like, all right, gotta kill you now. Sorry, you're a criminal.
Denies danger could just lead to could just mean like hyper paranoia though.
True.
Like they're absolutely unwilling to get into a close-up fight. It's a laser beam for 2
Yeah.
kilometers away or nothing.
Yeah, they aren't. If they deny danger, it means they aren't tough in a straight up, like honest fight.
Yeah.
They just never get into one in the first
Yeah,
place.
they embody superiority and they deny danger. I think that's
Okay.
That's interesting. What do we call laser detective? We haven't figured out a naming structure.
Hold on. What's the name for like a scanning? Not a grocery store scanning laser. A like invisible museum alarm laser, because that's what it feels like it'd be.
infrared.
Ooh, I like that. But it's Indigo's mentor.
I have no idea what to call this person.
I do like infrared.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that one.
I'm looking up spectrums of light, given the whole laser thing.
Could be like wavelength.
We have ultraviolet. I like wavelength. Gamma. Gamma rays are a type of light.
Detective Gamma.
Detective Gamma's funny.
Detective Gamma. X-rays are also a type of light, so you could go with X-wave or X-ray.
X-wave is.
X-wave.
I don't know. We'll come back
Terahertz.
to that name.
Terahertz.
Yeah, I don't know enough about lasers to make laser jokes. That's why I don't have laser powers.
Spectrum. It's an option.
Might just be
Redshift.
Justice. It could be
Redshift.
Justice Beam.
Justice
Justice
Beam.
Beam.
Depending on how cheesy the naming structure is.
Well, listen, I've already thrown out Mother Time, so
Yeah,
Justice Beam it is.
perfect. That's so they're very. That seems like it's definitely a part of their identity. Is
I think
They
they
shoot
live in
lasers
a weird
for
tower. I
justice.
think they live in a weird tower.
they're their own
Like-
panopticon. They're a one-person
like a weird,
panopticon.
a
Okay.
giant like Seattle like Space Needle style tower, and occasionally from the top, like lasers will just come down and scan a crime scene, and then pivot and like nuke someone. Just
hold on.
This
I know exactly.
if this
what
is
I'm
how we're
thinking of
setting up
in my
our
head.
first hero, I think we're getting some already very strong what Halcyon might be vibes. I don't think there
I don't
might be
know
a
why
lot
you
of
went for B
everyday
first if
crime
you
for
didn't
that.
want that.
Hold on. I got the perfect image for this. Can I? No.
I got to figure out what
Okay.
cool stuff do I get for my
Yeah.
mentor.
Well, while you think about that, we are done your
Yeah.
first column. So let's shift over to Jordan if you're done looking at the picture.
I got it.
Perfect. You get one option. Oh, okay. We're already kind of done your column, but still, we can keep going with you then.
Yes. Let's see here.
So you've already chosen your power as the Nova.
Yes.
And then we'll go over backstory afterwards, I think.
Okay.
But you also get to choose 4 flares at the start. So
I
out
kind
of
of already
the
did that.
10 possible ones, which ones have you chosen?
I have chosen Reality Storm, which is I spend burn to directly engage a threat using Freak instead of Danger. If I do, I will cause unwanted collateral damage unless I spend another burn.
Excellent.
All right.
I also chose Move. Spend 1 burn to move to any place you choose within the scene, breaking through or slipping past any barriers or restraints in your way. Spend a 2nd burn to move to any place you've previously been. So that's
You're
the
just like
wormhole.
wormholing yourself somewhere else. Okay.
Moat, spend a burn to create a barrier that will hold back threats as long as you keep your attention on it. GM may call for you to spend another burn if barriers threatened by particularly powerful enemies. So that's the white hole.
Yeah, because it'll expel basically force, and
Yeah.
so you're using it as a barrier. Cool.
And then I chose shielding. I'm not as sold on shielding, but it's you call fast protective field to stop a danger. Spend 1 burn to defend someone else from immediate threat, rolling freak instead of savior. That could also just be like any of the holes.
Yeah, shielding I have a tougher time imagining with that, but I could still see versions of it. But it's up to you what you think works best. So for the Nova, for those watching, the core thing is you charge up your powers in advance, basically, and gain a currency called Burn that you can spend on any of these. That's their whole thing. Okay. Let's move on then to Marissa. Let me pull up the star.
So the big choices I get here is my audience. I am a celebrity in the city. By default, your audience is a limited group of interested fans, and you speak to them through after-action interviews and infrequent press conferences. True, we just have an additional tune-in at all points.
I
Why
mean,
does
that's
the
one of
audience
the advantages that you can choose from.
So, for my audience, they like me because you're just like them, and you're a noble warrior for justice. The big thing that I'm appealing to.
Hey.
The big thing that I'm appealing to is, see, I do it. You could do it too. Of course, you'd be like me if you had powers.
It's the whole Spider-Man. Anyone
Anyone
can be
can
behind the
be
mask.
behind the mask, but also
Not
You're
anyone, because I'm
totally-
the only one who has spider powers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
anyone with superpowers can be this person.
I get to choose 2 advantages from the audience. And they are going to be you have a much wider audience.
What about you can easily speak to them at any time? You
Yeah, I
mentioned
was
the
going
live
to mention
casting.
but that makes way more sense.
Yeah.
You can easily speak to them at any time. Yeah.
Okay.
And then choose 2 demands that your audience makes on you. And I'm going to go with they require perfection, no mistakes, and they require major acts of heroism. Which I was
Ah.
kind of having fun playing with on the dichotomy of I'm like, anyone can do this. Tune in to see what it is really like and how hard it is. And yet they're
And then
coming
they're
in
like,
with the message,
do more. You're not doing enough.
you're not doing it good enough.
Perfect.
Yeah.
If I had their powers, I would do this instead.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
So you have your keyboard warriors watching you. Excellent. Then we will come back to you, I think, as you consider your moves.
Yeah, I've got one of them, but I'm not sure on the second.
Zen, as the newborn.
Yeah. So,
So you get to choose 2 powers, from what I can see.
Yep.
You mentioned solid light projection.
the other one is super durability and strength
Okay.
because they are made of hard light.
Thank you, Tank.
We got the tank.
Actually, now we have a
Oh, yeah.
tank for-
Put the clueless one up front. Yeah, sure. Thanks, guys.
Listen, you just designated yourself the himbo, okay? We didn't do it for you.
Actually, that's a good question. We should discuss pronouns and gender and what your characters identify as.
Currently
One word.
dead.
Yeah,
We'll figure it
was
out. There will be
and-
ways
I
to
believe-
identify
yeah.
the character. I just didn't think about it yet.
The
We
pronouns
only
are,
referred to you in the
are
past
not
tense.
and was.
No,
So
I'll have a real pronoun.
Yeah.
that question opens up a thing. I did not take the ability yet, but there is an ability called regeneration that I can grab. That one of the options is like if you get knocked out of a fight, some stuff happens, but you're not knocked out of the fight.
Ah.
2 of those options are you change what you look like and you change your gender.
Oh.
That seems like a weird effect from getting hit over the head too many times.
Right?
Not for a
I mean,
teenager.
it's
I
very
think
Doctor Who kind of regeneration kind of thing.
That
Oh,
does
yeah.
feel like
yeah,
the Doctor.
actually, totally right.
I don't know why they'd put that on the newborn and not on the nomad, but whatever.
That's fair. But yeah, no, I do see this as fitting in Mask's exploring identity things. So yeah.
So the moves I did choose, not from around here. When you act clueless, goofy, or confused to get out of a sticky, mundane situation, roll plus freak. On a hit, some good stuff happens. On a 7 to 9, I also feel like I'm the clown in the situation, and the GM can shift my labels.
And on a miss, no one is fooled.
Yep.
Excellent.
Uh,
Are you picking
second-
regeneration at start or?
I am not. No. I'm picking a mind of their own. My powers evolve and mutate when I'm facing an obstacle or threat that my powers would not be able to deal with. I can mark a condition and gain brand new abilities adapted to the situation. The new powers go away once the danger is gone.
I like it. So, you're the wild card.
Very much so. And
I think that's
we
saying a
don't
lot
really
with
know
the
why.
guy who throws black holes in the group.
Yep. Perfect. Okay. Then, while we go handle that, let's switch back to Indigo.
Those are moves.
Oh,
You
I
have
figured
3
those out.
protege moves, and you have 3 mentor resources.
Yes. Well, up to 3 mentor resources.
That's true.
Very much considering having none of them.
That's totally fine.
Not 100%. I might just pick. I'm probably gonna be 1, and like one that I stole or something. But like
I see one of them's a weapon of last resort. That could be fun.
the weapon of last
weapon
resort
that
would
killed
just be
you.
like a business card I can rip in half, and Beam of Justice will just nuke whoever I want.
You have the gun, like just a gun from Secret Hitler, like a bullet or something. Just
It's just like a card, and I can rip it. He's like, "All right, laser
get
time."
one
and that
coupon,
spot gets
one death
laser-
on it.
one laser. I'm not sure yet, but active moves. I have venting frustration. When you directly engage when you're angry, you can roll plus label your mentor denies and clear angry. So I can do a dangerous thing to calm down.
Perfect.
Sounds
I like it.
amazing.
Yep. It's really good when you're dead. Like, there's very few consequences.
I'm sure that's how it'll work out.
I'm gonna be ahead by like session 3, like just ahead by session 3.
You're gonna be Dreadpool. Is that what you're saying?
I'm thinking the rest of he's gonna get eviscerated somehow.
Yep. And you have 2 more moves.
Yeah, Ben reading the files is the other one. It's very long, so I'm not gonna read it. But
I know
basically,
this. Yeah.
I get a free like roll plus superior to find out cool stuff about fun power things.
Perfect.
And then the third one is be mindful of your surroundings, which is I get automatic question when I assess a situation before entering a fight.
Didn't you have that in Avatar?
I always take that power.
Perfect.
It's a great power.
Okay, great.
It's a really good power just to get free questions.
Yeah, no, it is good. And then yeah, you get to choose up to 3 resource that your mentor gave you in the team.
Yeah.
Do you want to come back to it, or do you want to decide now?
People have fun ideas for what Justice Beam gave us. I think
What are the
badges would be fun.
You think
Like we have official hero badges from Justice Beam.
badges could be fun? Other ones here, surveillance equipment would fit you. Maybe a false identity that's mentioned. False identities, if you want, if you want to have a not dead birth certificate or something like that.
I would love either a hidden base or a vehicle, as in like before he went all paranoid, he had like a hidden base, and that's just where you like
Before he
sculpt off
moved
to.
into the Justice Needle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before he moved into the
Justice
laser
Needle.
tower. Or his old like beat up minivan. that we, like,
Beat up
run
minivan,
operations
or
out of.
I kind of like the opposite, where you just have a very like aggressively loud and branded vehicle. I'm not sure what you want. It's your vehicle.
So badges are like, if I was thinking of a group option, badges make the most sense.
Badges
for
of
me.
authority.
It gives us some level of legitimacy as opposed to
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, probably gonna take badges.
Okay.
And I would like a hidden base, but I don't think that they're never as fun. They usually end up with bad guys crashing the door down.
Hmm.
It's basically whenever there is a hidden base in any teen show, it is a it is a Chekhov's hidden base. Like it must by the end of the story be knocked down.
Be attacked.
Be attacked.
Yeah, much like a glass table in anything
fight.
like
Yeah,
glass
everything.
tables. Someone's going through the table.
Yeah.
Hmm. It's like in wrestling, whenever someone busts out the tacks, they're the one going into the tacks most of the time.
So that's fair.
I think I got it. I think I have badges of authority, and I'm gonna slightly modify the next one and a morgue.
And a morgue.
All right.
It's a med lab.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay, so you've got a way to basically patch yourself up.
It's a
Yeah.
morgue.
Lots of formaldehyde.
Why on earth did your mentor give you a morgue, and how did they have it in the first place?
They're Justice
Maybe they-
Beam. They can have whatever they want.
maybe they feel bad about beaming you.
So you're picking 2 then? You're not picking 3?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
picking 2.
Perfect.
What if they're like the sentence is death? They kill you, come back, you're like, all right, well, you served your sentence.
You did it. You died.
You
Congratulations.
died, so
Punishment succeeded. You're free to go.
you're free
They're
to
like,
go.
oh, here then, I guess have a lab and some badges.
Okay.
Don't do that again.
So, Nova, we went through your burn already. I think we'll get to backstory afterwards when we do that with everyone, I think. So I don't...
Right.
Is there anything else that you want to choose right now?
Let me see. I think that's basically it.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, Nova's pretty quick relative to the others for initial setup. It's just lots of move choices.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Marissa, Star.
I think I'm going with 2 moves here. Every single move here is roll superior instead of a different skill. So it's just a matter of how I want to roll superior.
How
in this case,
superior are you?
+2.
Very
For now.
superior.
Yeah. For now, we'll see how that one goes. Anyhow, the 2 moves I picked, one was time for a show. So when you put on a flamboyant display of your powers, roll plus superior instead of freak, I suppose. And basically, I get to name an NPC, and they will either volunteer help, information, express admiration, or ask for your help. And on a miss, that goes badly.
Yep.
And then the other one I'm thinking will be good because the other option is kind of the same as ask way too many questions, and I don't want to step on toes, is I'm going to go with stage fighting. When you directly engage a threat with an audience watching,
We can
does
count
listening-
listening. We can count listening, given that that's supposed to be what's going on here.
Right.
Unless you
Mark
specifically have a
condition-
fan, like...
I mean, that's great, and I'm very happy to have just fans on the street. I picked have a wide audience for that reason. But yeah. Market condition to roll superior instead of danger. So.
Okay. Perfect. And then back to Newborn. I think we
Yeah.
moved some... did we choose your moves already?
We did the moves. The blank slate though is something I haven't filled out yet. So the newborn learns lessons about the world and defines them, and when they embody them, good stuff happens. When they reject them, I can replace them.
Yeah, and you start with 2 already.
Mm-hmm. So they are: I am blank, a superhero should blank, always blank, and never blank. So I have beliefs.
Yep, you have your own bits. You have your beliefs and your instincts. That's always a never.
Yep. Yep.
Are those
Given
ones that fill out right now, or kind of in relation to other people?
I have a feeling they're going to be informed by the environment. As I said, I can reject them and then erase it and write a new one. But I'm going to start with the one I know I'm going to start with is: a superhero should be a paragon of good, because they are from the superhero museum, and that is the one thing they do know.
Perfect.
Prepare to have that view shattered.
Given how the one adult hero we've established so far, yeah.
Well, even the one I'm establishing, I am imagining imagine the worst helicopter mom, because she literally sees into the future.
Yeah, she's like, I packed you an extra sandwich today. You're gonna.
Because I know you're
going
gonna
to
be hungry.
Yeah.
So we'll get to this during backstory stuff, but
well, I think you're last, so we
basically-
could actually, if you want to tie it into backstory stuff, we're doing backstory next if we want to also do your backstory, and then
yeah, specifically, let me pull it back up here. 1 second. When the team first came together, the question for mine is: the team discovered you during the incident, whatever that is. Thanks to them, you reached the outside world and helped in the fight. There's a couple questions there, but I wanted to inform the either always or never by sort of our first meeting.
yeah.
In that, what did you guys teach me to always or never do?
Oh, yeah.
So we can keep that in the back of our heads as we figure out when the team came together and all that stuff.
Right.
And I will write something in when it strikes me.
Perfect. Okay. I have an idea I want to run by you, Sen, for your thing. I like the idea that the music, like, I like the idea that a long gone hero who was like a super genius sort of tech hero created your programming, and so no one really knows how it works anymore.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, the vague thing I had in my head is like something happened and it hit some piece of weird tech that was supposedly deactivated in the museum
yeah.
that sort of amalgamated with the museum interface.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll call it an interocitor or something. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Um, then I think we'll go into backstory in general right now, while and then figure out your last blank slate statement from that. Um, so I guess right now the first question under the newborn backstory is who created you and why is a mystery. Is what you're is we're saying, like it's either you weren't intentionally created or it otherwise is a big question mark.
Yeah, right now the answer is an accident.
Yeah.
Um, and whether or not it was intentional, we can discover and play. But as we know right now,
Yeah.
just some shit happened and I popped out.
Okay. Um.
You were the oopsie.
Yeah, I'm the glitch.
Yep.
I
Perfect.
do like that name.
Um. Your next question is how are you different from humans?
Well, the obvious, I'm a sentient hard-like construct.
Okay. How you can't disguise yourself to look like non-transparent. You pretty much always look
um,
holographic.
no, I do have, if you want to blow this up for, oops.
I don't have an easy way to put stuff on stream.
Okay. But yeah, there is character art. I just got to pull it out. Apparently, I can't pull it out because I have a token. Fine, go away, token. How annoying. Yeah, I'll find it and put it in the stream. But yeah, he does look like a teenage male.
Okay. Um.
There's sort of wisps of what do you call it? You know the digital like green line background, that the wireframing.
Yeah.
It's sort of like that. That sort of fuzzes out his edges a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. We've already talked a bit about your caretaker. Do they have a name? I think. For them, you said they were a retired hero. Do they still go by their hero name?
Did not come up with a name for them. Yeah,
Marissa,
but it would be a cheesy golden age name.
Yeah, Marissa, what were you saying?
We established their golden age. Are they actually retired?
Golden Age was some of the original heroes, so I would imagine Zen.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
2 generations gone. I'm figuring they're like 70-ish.
Okay.
You know, and the idea I had was that they are not a powered individual. They are a vigilante style, like street level.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay. So yeah.
How did they get your guardianship?
I think they were in the museum, like just reliving old glory days.
Do they work in the museum still, or were they just there visiting?
I think they were just like looking at their old suit, like reminiscing on the glory days when the incident occurred.
Okay. Perfect.
And you know, they're not, because they're a non-powered individual. They certainly weren't useful.
Yeah, they probably tried to like
happened.
usher civilians away, but not do more than that, I'd imagine, because presumably based on things like the Nova questions of when we came together, it's probably going to be recognizably too high tier for them to really deal with, especially at 70.
What? I mean, the guy who's in his 70s and like was like Daredevil could probably fight me totally.
Dick? You're talking about
not if you saw him coming. He could ambush you for sure.
He could ambush me, yeah. Hit me with his cane.
I'm pretty sure his name is Stick. Is the person that plays Daredevil.
Yep. Perfect. I'll come up with a name for him in the meanwhile. I think if that's good with you, Zen.
Yes, but thinking female.
For her. Okay, perfect.
Hit me with her purse or her cane. One of the two.
Yeah, canes
Cane's
either
still
way.
works.
Everyone gets a cane at that age.
Anyone can have a
Dual
game.
wields.
All right, I will think about what she might be.
All right, character art's in the Discord finally because I couldn't find it.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Now that is anime.
Totally.
It's fairly anime.
Good.
That is amazing.
So, what about humanity fascinates you the most?
I'm going to say their emotions, but that's not entirely accurate. It's more like the humans' emotional responses and their intellectual inconsistencies.
Okay. So, almost kind of human irrationality fascinates you, to summarize it.
Yeah, like it's kind of hard to explain, but the idea that you would lie to your children about things like Santa Claus to teach them to be good. How is lying good? You know.
Perfect.
And for this reason, I really want to do a Christmas episode, but
We'd have to be playing masks for quite a while to get there.
Just do a Christmas episode early.
We'll do the typical July Christmas
Christmas
episode
in July.
when for some reason I get Christmassy in July for some reason. Every 6 months roughly I feel Christmassy, so we might be able to fit that in. I start whistling Christmas tunes around the house. Okay, and then do we want to pause on why do you care about the team?
yeah, I don't know why I would care about this collection of assholes yet. I'll figure
Dude,
that
I'm
out.
so the same. I don't know.
I mean, I don't could be an answer to the question.
I don't.
I don't think that's a good one though, because if all of the playbooks ask why do I care about the team, you need something to hold the team together.
Yes.
There is one I think that doesn't. The Nomad doesn't really give a shit.
But
I mean, the
Yeah,
question
like-
is there, but their answer could logically be, I don't.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Back to Indigo. Let's go through your backstory.
I have a name now.
Oh.
I think I'm just gonna be Morg the Haunted Hero.
Perfect.
Morg.
Well, I don't know. There's been enough media where there's like a hero name and like a moniker.
Yeah.
So like
that's
Morg
fine.
is the hero name and the Haunted Hero is the moniker.
Yeah.
And I got Hellebore Black because that's a poisonous plant. And that felt like a name I would pick.
That's your like real name? Hellebore?
Yeah. Hellebore.
Perfect. I've written that down. Let's go through your backstory. So,
Yeah, I got questions, I think.
how'd you first meet your mentor? How did you meet Justice Laser?
Justice Beam.
Sorry, Justice Beam, not Justice Laser. They fire Justice Lasers, but they are Justice Beam.
Yep. How did you first meet your mentor? I don't know.
Okay, first question. Are you or are you not an orphan?
I don't know. Am I an orphan? I'm gonna go.
I think it's way more interesting if your parents are still alive because you're dead.
Not an orphan. Good
Ooh.
point. Good point. Parents alive. Parents alive and well.
Parents alive and Do they know you're? Do they know that you
Are you
died
still,
and
like,
don't know
living
you
at
came
home?
back?
Yes, they're receiving death benefits. Yes, I was there last week for like
For
a
supper?
family dinner.
Oh, even
Yeah, for
better.
dinner.
Okay.
We have a good relationship. Yes, they receive
They're-
death benefits.
They know
They're
you
getting
died.
money in
They
and they're
know
like,
you got
"Oh."
better, and they're probably feeling conflicted about it.
Probably.
So
How did
you
Or not. Maybe they're just like,
We'll
I
see.
like fuck the government. I want the money. I
Yeah.
don't give a shit. Tommy's still here, but they're gonna pay us.
Yeah. We have
How
a
did you
signed
first
death
meet your
certificate.
mentor?
We had witnesses. We held a funeral, and that costs a lot, so they're at least paying us back.
Yeah.
Which also means you do not have a social security number, sir.
Oh yeah, no. Good luck leaving
No.
the country.
Yeah. Can dead people fly on planes? I don't think so.
As cargo.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you'd
Yeah,
probably
Do
be
you
fine
need a
as cargo.
passport to be cargo, though?
No.
You listen.
No,
we don't
but I'm
You need
do
a
good.
any
shipping manifest.
shipping benefits.
There-
We put you in a coffin if we ever
I
have to fly
suspect the
anywhere.
person whose cargo you are, though, might be questioned as to why they're transporting a body. Just
I can explain.
maybe. Yeah, the body can
Yeah,
tell
the
you all
body. The body can explain.
We just put you in a hazardous waste container.
I think at a raffle.
what's that an answer to?
How did you first meet your mentor?
You
No,
met
a raffle?
Justice Beam has a thing for what? Meat raffles? Like
No,
what?
I think being Justice Beam's man, all of the questions are about the same thing, so it can't be a raffle. I was gonna say I got the position from a raffle, but that's such a shortcut because that answers all of the questions.
Like you
Uh,
won it on a box of Wheaties.
Is this gonna be I have an idea for a weird Willy Wonka's thing where like a few kids won the raffle and all went in, and then you like
You only came out.
I don't know if they all died,
No
but
one
only
came
you
out-
were chosen to be trained.
No one came out of it alive.
What was your shared power again?
Oh, detective skills.
Okay, so it may have been, instead of a raffle, some sort of like, okay, here,
You have
an
been
escape room,
chosen.
You got out.
Yeah,
It's like, you've got
It
enough
could
that I'll
be.
actually do training.
yeah, it could be an
did
escape
you
room
first-
kind of thing.
Mm.
I'm just gonna paint my mentor as like the worst hero ever.
Wait,
How did you
wait.
fir-
Yeah, the
Is your mentor
dystopian
Saw?
hero.
Yeah. How did you first
He's
meet
like
your mentor?
He's
How
John
did you first meet
Kramer.
your mentor? Investigating random immolations.
All right, perfect. Met Justice Beam while investigating random immolations. Do people know what Justice Beam looks like, or did you even? How did that go?
People know what Justice Beam looks like 20 years ago, but ever since he ascended to his tower, no one knows what he looks like anymore.
Except maybe like the pizza delivery guy maybe knows, but that's
Are
it.
you one of the few people who does know what he looks like then?
I don't think I know what he looks like.
Excellent.
So, are we dealing with like a Wizard of Oz kind of character
This-
that like that
Yeah.
just stays behind the curtain all the time,
I'm
or
picturing the Eye of Sauron at this point.
Perfect. So I'm guessing, like, obviously they're not over all of Halcyon, but the district or neighborhood or area of the city that their tower can reach is, yeah, this is everything that you can see
Yeah,
that the
they're
sun
only
touches is my
limited
kingdom.
by the
like,
height of their tower.
yeah, and maybe
Like that
foggy
is
weather.
the only limitation on their power, is the height in which the tower reaches.
Yeah.
I'm picturing this district with like sort of tall buildings, all with carbon scoring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
No,
did they?
fewest crime statistics.
Very low
Astonishingly.
crimes.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot of reverse shadows on the walls.
However, the missing persons is very high for some reason.
Yeah. When and why did you choose to train with them?
Did you have a choice?
I don't think you had a choice.
I don't think
really
I had
don't.
a choice.
So
You were
adopted,
chosen.
like 6 months ago, you died and then came back, and your parents are like, okay.
What do you think?
Was there a time of missing persons in between your adoption into, crime fighting and your death and re-entry into society?
I don't know. Lennon, why did you choose to train with them after, I don't know, getting beamed into the tower?
Oh, they have abduction beams.
I don't know. Lasers could go backwards, right?
I don't know if
The
it calls
grapple
back.
is the problem.
Yeah.
Lennon, why did you choose to train with them? I don't know when, but why is like
I think it's just you don't have a choice. They're just like you.
better.
So you were actually just straight up kidnapped for a while.
Wait,
than the alternative.
So the
How
question
are they
I have
still a
about
superhero?
Hellebore is like, did you want to be a superhero? Like, was this something you wanted to do with your life?
That's
I
my
don't have any
question too.
superpowers. I don't think it was on my radar.
You didn't have any superpowers.
Depending on who
maybe
you ask,
you
I
always-
still don't. But I think it was a thing where it's like people are dying in my neighborhood. Let's find out why. Whoops! It's Justice Beam. I guess I work for him now.
You were press ganged.
Yeah.
He's a superhero.
Why'd they agree to trade you? I figured it out.
Oh,
do you
did you
want
solve a case before Justice Beam did?
I solved the
think-
case where the answer was Justice Beam.
Oh. They're like, now that you know the secret, you have to become the enforcer of
You
it.
are now my apprentice.
So this is
It's-
turning very Sith-like. Not
Yes.
not
It's
one to
just
one, but pretty.
A Sith who was like lawful neutral.
Yeah.
Like extremely.
I was just a high schooler.
Yes.
And now I'm dead.
Who is crazier, Morg or Dark Magician Craig?
Oh yeah, because that one, the
I have a
dad was
feeling-
the villain. He was like Great Shadow Wizard or something.
Yeah, Dark Magician Craig. That was just a matter of birth. This is pure
This is-
happenstance.
Yeah, this is just literally kidnapping.
Yep.
Who else outside the team knows about your training? My mom.
Perfect.
So
Not,
she's soon to
are
be
you
abducted?
specifically saying not your dad?
Yes, I just told my mom.
And she has.
Swore her to secrecy because Dad would say something. Dad's gonna get justice beamed.
Dad would get justice beamed.
Your dad's just like, oh, hey, you're home. You've been gone for a while. Where you
I died, Dad.
Yeah, I was
What
school
is it?
trip. I
Oh,
told
okay.
you. You signed the form, and then he's like, "Oh, okay."
You were at my funeral.
Yep. Okay. So mom knows, but dad would say something. So
Why do you care about the team? Keeps me out of the tower.
Oh,
And
so
the
do
grave.
you remember that let you go on the?
I couldn't
Alright,
just go back
yeah,
to
you
being a
still know my
civilian.
secret that You can go because you're learning this new skill with a team.
Basically, this is my excuse to not be in the tower anymore.
is this the justification for how they let you leave?
Yeah,
Okay.
that I
You joined
joined.
a
I
superhero
joined the
team.
superhero team.
Okay.
Jeez. This is turning more and more into like a
Yes.
boys' universe.
This is at least when it comes to Justice Beam, it is. That's for sure. I
Justice Beam is
suspect a bunch of
toxic
it.
piece of shit. I just want to put that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
but what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, I suspect a lot of this is not actually public knowledge. Like,
Yeah.
it's very likely other superheroes don't necessarily know.
I like to think that
Hopefully.
Mother Time
We'll
knows,
find
but
out.
because she could just look through time, she knows,
She's
oh, I
seen
can't
him
do anything.
immolate someone.
Yeah, she just can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it won't be public knowledge until we have any kind of discussion about it around me.
Then it's just a conspiracy theory.
Yeah. Do you have any proof?
Yeah, and I don't think my mom
Um,
knows all of the details, but she's the only one who's not on the team that knows I was trained by Justice Beam.
Yeah. Does I guess my next question is, what's the general like public opinion of Justice Beam? I'm guessing it's a lot more positive than ours is.
He has a very safe area that he patrols.
Okay.
He
There
keeps
is
his
no crime in Justice Beam's district.
Okay.
again missing persons though. So weird.
So through the
So
roof.
weird.
Through the roof.
Yeah. Okay.
Missing persons investigators also mysteriously missing.
Oh, I'm sure by this point they're in this pocket.
Oh, probably.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If he has the money to build a giant laser beam tower that he sits upon, he has enough money to bribe people.
Yeah. So public opinion of Justice Beam is high.
Hi. Yes. I think we've circled around to it would be a scandal if people knew he killed me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've come around to answer that question.
All right.
People know I'm dead because I'm publicly Morg the Haunted Hero.
But they don't know why you're dead. They don't know the reason.
they don't know why I'm dead or that I was trained by Justice.
So, are we gonna?
No.
We're gonna say Justice Beam did kill you, and you in character remember him doing that?
Yes.
Okay.
Vividly.
How did he feel when doing that? Did he look like it has to be done? Like he was
No,
make
it was
or it's very
more for my
cold.
own benefit kind of thing. I was declared not good enough.
Okay, so now
We're not enemy, so we're killing you.
Well,
how
it's
did you?
more that I was killed with the express purpose of making me stronger to fight crime.
Okay, so as to
Mm.
how you came back, it's not. I'm guessing. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's not quite clear, but Justice Beam was a part of why you came back when you were killed.
There was a special laser.
Yes,
It was the
laser
undead
that kills
laser.
you but doesn't kill you.
the laser that kills you but leaves your soul where it
This
belongs.
is the Nobilis gun all over again.
Oh no. Your laser beam is just Coriander Ask stuck in this dimension.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
We have your backstory.
Yes.
that's Morg. Jesus.
Yeah. Jordan, tell us about
Yes.
Mother Time and yourself. Cheer us up a
okay.
bit, which anything would be that, relatively speaking.
So he goes by his superhero name is the Void, because sometimes when you stare at the void stares back.
Yeah, but not all the time, because eye
all the
contact can
time.
be uncomfortable.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
Um,
that's a.
His real name is, I got this from the last game, Benjamin Barlow. Don't remember why, but it's a BB name, so cool. Goes by Benny. His backstory. When did you first use your powers? I think at around 13 / around when he first started to hit puberty, he's like, oh, I have superpowers. Because
Some
he has
people start feeling ways. Other people vomit
Star
black holes.
throat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other people, there's sometimes your body will change, sometimes the space-time continuum will shift.
Changes around your body.
Yeah.
You know, and then this kind of flows directly into who was the first person you accidentally hurt with your powers, his twin brother, who is powerless.
Ooh, excellent.
I
still
wrote
alive?
in here. Yeah, he's still alive.
Okay.
I wrote in here,
How-
there's a 50-50 chance that he will be a hero or a villain. He's like a brain-like character. Like, if I was to make him a player character, he'd be the brain playbook.
Okay. How did you hurt your brother? Exactly. Like, this could be all the way from missing limbs to, like, no physical thing, just more emotionally.
Go on.
Well-
Is it Zen?
One of the powers on the brain is prosthetic limbs.
Oh yeah, then I went.
Is he full
hey,
cyborg?
hey Barney, watch
That's
this.
another option on the brain.
I went, hey Barney, watch this, and I black holed his leg on accident.
Okay, perfect.
Luckily, Mom.
You Alphonsed your brother.
I what?
You Alphonsed your brother.
Not all the way.
On
Alphonse is
accident.
a heck more than just a leg, to be fair.
Okay, you mentioned anime, so side note. One, there is a pseudo superhero anime that did just come out like today. It's Go Go Loser Ranger. It's explicitly like it's a weird Power Rangers adjacent
I'm
concept.
already interested.
It's like the first episode came out, it was fun. But anyway, the idea is that the Rangers are not good people and are forcing the aliens to send down a new monster every week for them to fight on TV. And
The aliens
story
are show
follows-
business, basically.
Yeah, and the story follows only one episode out. but the story follows one of the like mook monsters, like one of the minion monsters from the alien team that infiltrates the like ranger organization because he's tired of getting blown up every week.
That's great.
Vaguely superhero related. I figured I should mention it, but you mentioned that. Every time I've tried to rewatch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, like the start of that show is so much worse than the start of
Yeah, they intentionally
first
fast-paced
airing
it
of-
because it only came out like 2 years after the original show.
Yeah, but the start of the original is so much better. So if I go back to rewatch it, it means I have to like
It's
start
switched
the
partway
original
through.
and then skip
Yep.
switch partway through where there's the actual finish of it. But like the intro, so much worse on Brotherhood.
I was actually introduced to that show with okay, do the first 10 episodes or so up to the dog, of course, on the original, and then I did the swap and we skipped like the first 3 episodes of the new Brotherhood, which was a very good way to be introduced to that show.
So,
Yes.
Yeah, speaking of Full Metal Alchemist, your brother's missing a leg.
Yeah.
So I have a
like,
quick question
the
about that.
footnotes.
If your mom can see through time, do your powers, given that they kind of... Black holes are weird when it comes to time as well.
Mhm.
Do they create blind spots for her, or are you not quite sure why she didn't stop this from happening?
I think basically she can only see things that are premeditated, right?
Okay.
So when he got his powers, he went, "Oh, hey, look at this," and then did it. So he didn't even think about it.
Okay.
Which is
so
why
it was
there's
it was undefined in the timeline until like
Yeah.
a couple seconds before it happened or something.
Yeah, which is why I was thinking like why his twin brother can be a villain is his twin brother knows this, so he goes, "Okay, I'm going to just do training and not decide if I'm going to be a hero or villain yet until he's ready to make the jump."
Okay. I'll write that down.
So the whole everyone just has
But
to exploit.
so your brother's doing training for some reason. Are you establishing
like-
that? Okay.
Like
We-
he wants to do something with his because his mom is also a superhero.
Yeah.
I think his dad's just a normie, but like
Yeah. Okay.
like he also sort of like idolizes like the superpowers.
Yeah.
We have talked a little bit about superheroes at this point. I'm assuming people are, from what I've gathered, superhero is a job. There are professional superheroes, is what we've seemed to
Yes.
establish.
Yeah.
I just want to know now: is superheroing legal?
I think it
Probably
would have
because,
to be.
because if it
Yeah.
was illegal, how would you enforce it?
Well, is it
the problem.
sanctioned?
Yeah. It's
Like, do you
sanctioned.
have to have a license
think that's what the
or
badges of
be
authority
approved by
are.
something?
That's what the
Mm.
badges
Oh.
of authority that you have.
Oh,
are,
his
I think.
licenses.
Yeah.
Like we are
Okay.
superhero
So
licensed.
there's a government superhero agency where you have to get your like I'm a superhero card.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you guys have
otherwise
them
you're a vigilante
because
or a villain, and they're dealt with differently.
yeah, they're a villain,
think
or
there's
there's
the
probably a
same-
vigilante. Are we gonna
Ooh,
go with?
the same? No, it's a generic superpower like
Term for
use
someone with
registry card.
powers?
Villains have the same card.
It's just like a power registry, but they are like so neutral because they have to be. Because if they just ratted out all the villains, no villain would register their superpowers. So they have to be neutral. Of like, okay, here you just register. Do you have powers with us? Yes or no? And then go. Okay, you are sanctioned to do powers.
Non-powered superheroes like the Beacon or whatnot.
Though I
Yeah, we have to.
think I
to
would
account for
prefer
non-powers.
if it wasn't specifically powers. It's basically more like you're sanctioned to do vigilante violence to stop crime. Usually, people with powers do that.
Here's
Oh
your
my
license
God.
to blow up a city block in the name of justice.
Here's a funny thing. In the state of Texas, I believe they still have mutual combat. So if you and another person walk up to a cop and say, "Hey, we are mutually going to fist fight," that cop cannot stop you. So this is just like that to the extreme. Like, hey, you have mutual combat against anyone else who also has this badge.
Well, I think it would be only like. I think
You don't.
the thing about villains is breaking the law. So I
Mhm.
think there wouldn't be a power registry that's neutral.
Mm.
I think there's just
No, they're
a
just
hero
forcibly
registry.
registered when they're convicted.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
hero registry,
Okay, hero registry,
and
and
then a power registry that includes heroes and anyone
and the
who's
same organization adds villains to the lineup as
To
they
the
come
list.
up.
But they don't get a badge that gives them any sort of sanction. It's just that they
Okay.
have an.
Yeah.
This is like
It's part of
you
their.
have-
It's just
I
on their
think-
file.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think all the badge does is give you higher than citizen level enforcement of super crime or stopping
Yeah.
crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, you're
Look
still
out for
responsible
murder.
for leveling a city block. Like, if you crush
Oh yeah.
a
No, there's
building,
still rules.
you're in trouble.
You still have to go through a training session before you get your badge, and like some of this will be the city's responsibility. This, and this. Some of this is not the city's responsibility, and you will be held accountable if you do this, and this.
30-day waiting period and a background check.
If you level a building, you better be prepared to pay for the insurance.
Yeah, if you level a building and it's proven later that there
was not
was something you
necessary.
could have done, then yeah.
But to be fair, there's usually always something you could do instead of leveling a building.
Exactly. So it's
Enjoy, Noah.
this is fine.
Okay. My next question is, who outside the team helps you control your powers? I will say Mom, and then
Oh, good. We also have Bomb for more than one character.
I feel like there's got to be like a coach also.
Do you see a professional power tutor?
Oh, he got it. He has.
Do you
to see a
have is
professional
this
power tutor.
also from the superhero registration thing of like, okay, you're getting your badge like provisionally, but you needed extra training or
Oh,
something?
no, I think it's private. I think it's
Private?
a
No,
private,
it's a private
server.
tutor.
Okay.
A private trader that your mom hired.
Private
Private
training
power tutor.
tutor.
Yeah.
Do they have powers of their own, or are they just like, yep, we're
I like the idea that they're powerless actually.
I sort of like the idea that they have a nullification
Yeah, that's fair.
power.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like they can sort of go like, okay, we're gonna like dial you down a little bit, and then like we'll work you up.
Your name is the Void, so I kind of want to call them Null just because of that pairing. That's really
the
on the
thing.
nose, though.
In my brain, I thought if my twin brother becomes a villain, he is Null.
Okay.
So this, I think if
They
you're a
might
tutor,
not
you don't
actually
have like
use.
a super
Yeah,
name.
yeah. Okay, so they'll just use
Yeah,
their
they may
normal
not have
name.
a super brand. They're professional
Yeah.
power
It's,
tutor.
it's Mrs. Anderson. Like it's just
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Okay.
All right. Next question is, why do you continue to use your powers? I put living up to the family name, and then being able to control my powers is very important. Obviously, if you could throw around black holes, white holes, and wormholes, you should probably be able to control that.
So yeah.
and not just sneeze and destroy a block.
Yeah. You don't want to
Um,
sneeze and then end up on Mars.
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
one crazy dream away from annihilating the planet.
Why do you continue to use your powers if they're this dangerous?
I think because, like, it's the fact that he needs to live up to that family name, but also because they are so dangerous, he'd rather be in control of them than like be like, I don't know like what I'm gonna do that's gonna set it off.
Is there? Okay, so you worry that there might be some negative side effects with suppressing your power, that it might start coming out on its own. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. And why do you care about the team?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Let's find out. Okay. Perfect. Then on to the Marissa, the star. What's your hero name and real name?
Hero name is going to be Solar, and real name is Kay Eddington, I think.
How do you spell K?
Kay.
Okay. Kay Eddington.
And I'm gonna do the backstory questions a little bit out of order because two of them I really know about and the others I don't. So two of them are really close related. Who outside the team supports your burgeoning star in every way possible, and who outside the team loathes what you represent. So we talked a little bit about how I was trying to represent, openness, honesty, doing good. Everyone can do this. And so I have two parents. Why did I feel a need to clarify that? They are divorced. I think that my mom is the person who loathes what I represent because she sees that I'm supposed to be representing honesty, and yet she knew me before I had these powers and before everything I did was public, and that seems like a different me. She recognizes that now there is a mask that is on at all times, this need to be perfect, this need to do the things properly, and she is not okay with how I am doing that. On the other side of it, Dad, with his second family and his, he has a new wife and he has 3 siblings. It's not actually him who supports me in every way possible. It is my stepmom, who is really excited to have a celebrity in the household, who thinks that this is great. It gives her kids a role model to grow up to, my brothers and sisters. Dad's kind of passive in this whole thing, but she is full force behind anything I do, no matter what.
I cannot
So-
wait for Solar's tell all. That's like Jeanette McCurdy's I'm glad my mom's dead.
It's been on display next to me on the desk at the library for about 3 months now.
You, it seems like basically everyone's pretty aware. Do you, I guess, here's my question. Do you have a normal life? It seems like you're public about your superhero persona, but do you even go to school?
Yes. This worked better with light powers. I'm not sure how to do it quite with fire. I do still have a secret identity. Technically. I'm not really sure how that one manifests at this point. I think I'm going with maybe I changed my name directly after this all happened.
Did you register as high school as Solar?
When I first appeared on screen, which was one of the other questions there was basically some sort of fight going on, and there were bystanders in the background, and I'm like, oh no, go watch out for the supervillain that's sneaking behind you, and I pointed at that supervillain, and we're going with a line of white fire, like, went from my finger to them, and was somewhat distracting and confusing, and no one really knew what happened, but the superhero used it as a chance to actually defeat said villain. So that was the first time that I discovered I even had powers at that point.
Like you accidentally shot out sort of a solar flare-ish thing when pointing.
Exactly. So there was kind of a, all right, let's go collect this person, stick them on the registry. I think someone must have... Okay, there was someone in the crowd who was very, very aware of power things, and they're like, okay, they kind of grabbed me, ushered me to the side, and said, like, okay, hide your face, make sure that you're not known, we're gonna get you registered, and they basically guided me through the process of, here's what we're gonna do.
Is this the same superhero you pointed at and basically saved?
I'm kind of tempted to make them, it's been discussed, the idea of, not a PR manager, but someone who's, like, managing chat or whatnot for the stream.
A commentator, I believe.
You have a moderator.
Yeah, a moderator. Like, not changing anything I say or whatnot, but there's got to be some sort of mod on this.
Yeah. Yeah, producer might be their title.
Yeah, producer. I think that there is an aspect of they are framing and shaping the way that my life works in a way that I'm not even fully aware of because I'm not watching my own stuff or hearing.
Okay. Are they an adult or are they a peer? Okay.
They're an adult.
Okay. What happened to the superhero you saved? Do we want to discuss who they are? I mean, it seems like it was a one-off encounter to you, but...
It seemed... I have no idea.
Okay. I think my question to you is, have you talked to them since? And if not, why have you been avoiding them?
I think I have talked to them since. I think that, again, the idea of I suddenly have powers now. I'm on the same tier as you. This is so cool. Like, I was watching you do good. What were you doing? How can I do that? So I think there's a little level of fangirl in there.
Okay.
But yeah, I have talked to them since.
Okay.
I think that the whole webcasting, what was it that you called it?
I called it live casting.
Live casting thing was also started pretty early because the adult that took me aside and basically, okay, said, here's how we're going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
That was when I first showed powers. When I first debuted, it was already with live casting and whatnot. So the hero community in general isn't quite sure how they feel about that.
Yeah, it went from this weird white fire saved me to, oh, now there's this hero with this white fire. The person you saved probably recognized it as you, and that's why they wanted to talk to you. But by
Knowing
that point, everything you say is yeah. Okay. Interesting. So the hero community is in general kind of, yeah, not sure how to handle you because you're kind of this new thing, at least interacting with you is.
Interacting with me is a new thing, and yet at the same time, I am doing my best to be normal and a normal person and disarming, and so it's not like I'm going out of my way to get them in trouble, but at the same time, you misspeak and something goes wrong.
Yeah.
And I have a very large base of people who is going to tear into them for that.
Yeah. How long have you been a hero before you became a part of the team? How quickly did your user base grow? Is this something that like overnight exploded, or is this something else?
I think there was at least a month or a couple of weeks between I've discovered I have powers and I have officially come out as a hero.
Mm-hmm.
The time between I have officially come out as a hero and I joined the team, not sure. I think I've at least done a couple of things alone, but I feel like that'll be a little bit more clear when we
first came together. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Something sprang to mind. Like when a streamer or something starts their thing, they try a bunch of different things to see where their niche actually is.
Okay.
So like your solo thing could have been like you first started as a solo live cast streamer or live cast hero. And that didn't really work out for you, so you like moved on to other things to try to find what the audience responded to the best.
Okay.
I see it. Yeah.
So when did you first appear on stream? What do you tell people about how you got your powers? Basically that I have no idea how I got them because I don't.
Okay.
Neither of my parents are powered. I was debating whether or not my mom should be your power coach because that was interesting, but you put powers on them, so maybe not. At least as far as I know, neither of my parents are powered. It just happened one day. I have no idea.
Okay. Interesting. And then I think there's why do you care about the team? Which
I also don't really know what that's sorry.
It might improve your ratings, but other than that, tell me about your producer. Other than they're an adult, we don't know much about them. I think I need a bit more established about them.
Yeah.
Are they? Let's start with are they like man, woman? What do they look like? How do they treat you?
I think that they treat me very nicely, but they have been looking for this sort of an opportunity. They've been in PR for a while. I'm not sure if something went bad in the past, if they were in between jobs, what happened. But this was a golden just moment for them and has changed and made their lives revolve around this thing.
Yeah, okay.
In a very positive way. They haven't treated me poorly in any way for that. Like, they are doing their best to support me. They're doing honest work with, how trying to represent me well. But in the same way, I am their life and their livelihood, and they are not mine.
Okay. Um,
Or she is not mine. Yeah, whatever.
yeah. Producer is working hard, then, is what I'll say. It seems pretty, like, the dynamic seems a bit, in some way, the same way, and in some way, a bit of a reversal of Agent and Star, because, at least with a typical Hollywood star, when they're up and coming, they usually require their agent to succeed. If I'm remembering correctly. I guess the power dynamic kind of shifts and becomes both. Um, how do they, I guess, tell you how to act? What advice do they get? Is
I mean, again, everything that they tell me and that is still going to be straight up told to the entirety of the audience. So they can't come out and tell me do this thing this way, or at least they can't in words. If they want to actually do something more private, text. As for the less direct opinion of that, how do they actually tell you what to do?
yeah, how much of, I guess,
I
how much of your persona is shaped by them, and how much is shaped by you?
I think that persona is more shaped by me. I want to be an idealized hero. I want to be good. I want to do heroic things. And the audience picked up on that. That's what they responded to. They liked the major acts of heroism. They liked when I did well. And that's good because that's what I was aiming for. It's just a matter of, it's kind of impossible to do that all the time. But it is what I was trying to do. When I went in there and said, okay, this is what I want to do as a hero, be good, they said, okay, good, let's run with that.
Okay. Cool.
I don't really know how well to work in a gray world.
Yeah. Interesting. I can work with that.
Do we want to do relationships next instead of how the team came together?
I think how when our team came together makes sense to happen first, because it isn't when the team first came together. The game will truly be starting a bit after that. So I think first team together makes sense. That's usually when you first really meet each other.
Then is there a specific, remember there being a game order for what order those questions should be asked?
There is, but I don't know if it includes the extra playbooks.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
Okay, stars will probably be one of the last ones.
Yes.
That's the wrong one. Here we go. We have proteges. That's actually, that's the last one for sure. And we have Nova. Okay. So, all of these are sort of on the latter half of whatever this incident is. I think we can discuss the Novas is when our team first came together, we destroyed our surroundings in the fight. Where was it? What did we destroy? And the newborns we've already mentioned, but I'll say it. This team discovered you during the incident. Thanks to them, you reached the outside world and helped in the fight. Where and how did they find you? Who gave you your first nickname? So those are both probably taking place at roughly the same time. Like there was some big fight that you guys were in all together.
Does that mean that the incident was in then the museum where the newborn was created?
Probably.
That could be interesting if the Museum of Superheroes was destroyed in this fight and all that really survived from it, and it's probably being rebuilt because it's a big thing. But I'm guessing that Glitch might be like the major relic from the museum still. Okay, so I think it was probably some kind if we're in the Museum of Superheroics, The classic answer is some kind of like relic or artifact from a Silver Age supervillain, like activated. I think.
Not not a villain trying to raid the tech.
Well, I think a low tier villain tried to raid the tech, but when they tried to steal this high tier supervillains thing, I think it probably like became much worse. What started as this small issue, probably that the superheroic museum might have been able to handle. There's no way they wouldn't have good security. Probably became something much more dangerous with like. Let's give this a. What are we thinking? A battle that destroyed the surroundings. We could go with an alien robot. Like, what do you guys want to have fought? I guess is my question in the past and defeated this threat you teamed up against.
So if it's a villain that was there to like juice up,
Yeah,
yeah, maybe it got out of control. So we're saying it's a low tier villain, maybe like
used to be a low tier villain, and maybe something's changed since. Yeah,
and if they interacted poorly with tech, I mean, the obvious answer is some electric based villain, someone named like Killer Jewel or something like that.
let's go with it. Yeah, the cheesy names are great.
Names are going to be silly the whole time, and
Yep.
it's going to be sad on not even one layer below it.
Yeah, Killer Jewel. I think she broke into the superheroic museum to juice up on strange supervillain tech. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we don't need to define it any more than that because we're never going to see it again, I don't think.
Probably
Unless
not.
we want to make it like a.
And it depends on some of the future answers, but probably not.
I think
It technically doesn't say you have to have won your fight in order to in these answers. Just
I'm wondering if it's a matter of I came in to stop it. Something set on fire. Did we use the black or did black holes actually try to stop property damage at this point? To put out fire?
Maybe he tried to throw like a wormhole that led to like an ocean planet. Maybe that's what he tried to do. And what happened was he accidentally threw a black hole. It's like, oh,
I like the idea that Killer Jewel accidentally sent out a shockwave that activated all of the general supervillain tech in the area. So it might not have been one specific thing, but more like a
like multiple things.
Yeah, more like
the...
everything. Like it's the villains of superhero past. All of their tech related things came back at once in sort of a hollow shell of all of them, but still.
Morg, were you on the case of Killer Jewel? Did you know that they were going to go and do this, and were like, that's why you were there? You were ready to stop them before interference occurred?
And then they did. They're like, no, you can't stop me. I'll just destroy everything. And then it turned it out.
Yeah, I think I followed their trail there or something.
Yeah. Okay. So
I was on assignment.
Did you?
Because Justice Beam hasn't left the tower in
Yeah,
decades,
Justice Beam
so
like, ugh, the museum, it's laser proof, unfortunately. What are you gonna
Made
do?
of mirrors.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
So you confronted Killer Jewel as they were sort of about to juice up, and then they just sent out like a shockwave to try and get escape.
Something about there was definitely some line about like the electric chair won't keep me down or something.
Not even death can stop me.
Same disease.
Same.
Okay. So Morg was on the case and confronted her. She sent out a shockwave that activated all. Sent all tech in the museum haywire. I'm guessing that may have been also related to what happened to Glitch and caused Glitch to come into existence.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you went from display to real boy.
So
real
I
fast.
Yeah, I think my next question to the group in general, there's actually some options. I think I'm gonna say. I was about to ask something different, but I think I might stick with the new the Novas. Let me go to the Nova. Where was it, and specifically, what did we destroy? So I think during this fight, obviously we've discovered. I think we've established that the Museum of Superheroics itself was kind of destroyed in this fight.
Yeah.
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 I think there's probably something else, like a specific artifact from the museum that's irrecoverable now. Like you might have just crushed it in a black hole or something.
I'd
What?
say that most
Ooh,
What, like,
big magic
what?
rock that gives people powers. Big
That-
magic power
That
granted
would be
rock.
totally abusable.
No, we destroyed it. It's gone.
That even in the past, though.
Maybe it only had a certain amount of juice in it, but that's so when it got destroyed, right? The last shard that had any juice in it landed into the hologram display, which is
I
what
just
created.
like the idea that we single-handedly crippled the next generation of heroes. Something where we have ruined the future of
I was gonna say,
superheroics.
what, like, icon of heroism, like the equivalent of Iron Man's iron suit in the MCU, that from the museum was destroyed in the fight.
So the book does have, and I forget the name of them. It's the silver something or other, but they wielded this silver spark.
Yeah.
It doesn't define what the silver spark is, but it could be something along those lines. It was like one of the first really big, real powerful superheroes.
Yeah. I think maybe we destroyed something like that, like the equivalent of
Yeah.
like Captain America's shield.
Oh yeah, because the book mentions wielder of the silver spark, like it's such a powerful tool that this is like Mjolnir, like just having it makes you a hero. And
Yeah,
yeah,
we destroyed
we
the
destroyed it
Silver
in
Spark,
itself.
Yeah, we destroyed the silver spark.
Okay.
keeping the legacy from coming back and saving the city.
Yeah, perfect.
Like I imagine it's like
This
a
is-
sword
this
in a
is gonna
stone.
Make the stars question a little hard, but
It's like I imagine it's like
Somebody thinking of some spin here.
the silver spark is like a sword in the stone, and like it was prophesized that whoever could take the silver spark out will become the new like whatever that hero's
You're
name
saying a
is. but
literal
now
sword in the
it's
stone.
like literal sword in the
Okay.
stone.
Perfect.
Yeah, we ruined it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just gone now. It went into a black hole and didn't come out.
Maybe inside glitch now.
That could be true.
yeah,
We got something out of the exchange.
Sometime during the fight, of course, Glitch, you were discovered. I think I'm going to ask you to decide, Zen, which of the other heroes like actually stumbled onto you, or did you want to reverse it and say that you joined them as in the fight first?
I it's an interesting question. I think it was Solar that found me first.
Okay.
And it was an interesting meeting because Glitch was just coming like online at that point in time, like as a physical entity, and it hadn't quite decided on the composite form it was going to take yet. So it just looked like you.
Oh, good.
Perfect.
That seems comforting.
So it's at first, yeah, you walked in and there was a holographic version of yourself, basically.
And I think at that point I was still freaking out, like, okay, how do I deal with the fact that I set this place on fire? This isn't good. This isn't what I wanted to do.
There's a dead guy running around. There's a person throwing black holes. And what's the deal?
And the entire time, Glitch is just is Kenkuing you, like just mimicking all of your movements, saying exactly what you say out loud.
This is some like end of the Annihilation movie stuff.
Yeah, you were the only example that Glitch had to go by at that point, so it was just mimicking everything you did.
So it was just like, okay, well, I have to calm myself down on a panic attack because whatever's going on here needs more attention. So just, I'm going to force a mask down again. We're going to do calm and we're going to deal with whatever this is before we go back out there.
Yeah. Was it like did you actually hear someone like calling for help or something that made you force yourself, or was it something else, like thinking of your audience or a text from your producer saying, "Hey, you're still alive"?
No, I think it was more a matter of realizing that, okay, I wasn't going to be able to help whatever this green thing is the way I was now, and if I wasn't going to be able to help, I was failing my own ideals. I needed to couldn't fail those ideals, so I had to calm down. I had to do what I could to help, and just switched into that mode because that's what's required.
All right. Question answered. Always do what you need to do to help.
Oh, good.
Perfect.
That might come to bite us in the butt.
All right. Excellent. So, who gave you your first nickname?
That's an interesting question.
I assume you followed into the fight after.
Yeah, like what seeing Solar do what she was doing, Glitch immediately jumped into the fray and started mimicking, but then making their own decisions somewhere along in the fight. Like, hey, I can do these things. I can't do what she's doing, but I can do similar things.
Yeah.
So where there were fire bursts and things like that, then like beams of light came pouring out instead. As far as who,
I'm wondering if the online audience did.
Yeah, maybe in the chat they're all like, "Why is it glitching?
yeah, I think
Perfect.
chat
It was the
named
chat.
me
Her
Glitch.
voice is glitching."
Yeah, we're hearing two of you for some reason. It's weird.
What's going on? I think I
There's
think the stream is glitched.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
yeah,
I love
so
it.
chat named me.
Chat.
That's awful.
Listen, it could be worse. You could be like Body McBot face, you know.
Excellent. Okay. So before I move on to the next question, I have a another question. So, during the museum, a supervillain who was thought to be dead but was actually trapped in one of the artifacts here, sort of a ghost villain. Let's call them.
I want to wait. Are you sure it's a ghost and not? Hear me out. An ancient mosquito man who was trapped inside of a giant piece of amber.
Oh, Skeetor.
Mosquito Rex. It's just like a giant T-Rex mosquito.
It's a guy.
Okay.
It's a guy
So,
with like a mosquito
I will allow
powers,
that
and he lives by
if-
like a law of battle
If
or
it's a
something.
regular mosquito and then they bit someone who turns back into the mosquito with all of their memories.
Ooh, it's like malaria.
Yeah, malaria, that's their name. And as long as like one of their mosquitoes still alive bites someone, then they come back to life in that person.
Oh my god, that's gonna
So-
be a recurring villain we have to deal
Yeah,
with.
it's-
So my
it's a
question is,
recurring
did
mosquito villain.
they or did a supercharged killer jewel escape? You could
That's
only
gotta be the
capture
mosquito.
one of them.
Yeah, it's
It's
got to be the mosquito.
The
Okay.
mosquito got out. We caught Killer Jewel.
I think we
Okay.
caught Killer Jewel and the giant mosquito monster, but the mosquito that bit them to make them the giant mosquito monster escaped.
Yeah, so we thought we took care of it, but then,
Yeah.
then the last couple
So
of
the
panels
mosquito
is
is
just
the
mosquito
actual
flying out the
villain,
window.
and they keep turning
Mosquito's
people
the
into.
villain.
It's like a hyper intelligent
Every-
mosquito.
Okay, I'm writing that down.
So does that mean that there's like can be multiple mosquitoes just bitten or all around?
Probably
the
just
city
like one at a time. I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
one at a
It's
time.
like
But there could be plenty of latent carriers.
now that they're out
Yeah.
biting again. Yeah, they have to be careful because they're hyper
They
intelligent.
have to
But
like spawn in like a pool.
yeah, and they have to not get slapped because they're not hyper durable.
Yeah.
There's only one combat body at a time, but like when
Yeah.
you take it out, another one can appear anywhere in the city that's been
We
bit by the
we
mosquito.
somehow made the immortal snail that'll kill you if it touches you worse.
Yep. Yep. This is gross, and I love it.
I
This
don't
is
seem too
this
on
is
the nose
exactly
of a dead hero.
out
That
of.
would be too
Well, this
on
is
the
what
nose.
this is kind of what like this is not too far off from Man-Bat, but slightly higher tier. So like this is a perfect golden age relic that then like came back.
He got trapped in amber.
Yeah.
What was Glitch's mentor's name, and did they ever fight Mosquitor?
Hmm.
Ooh.
No,
Oh,
it's
the custodian.
mentor, yeah, ever fight Mosquitor.
It's gotta be like a bug, like the Eradicator. Like it's gotta be something like that.
Well, if it's a golden age, it's probably like something woman or something like that. If it was the
Yeah,
custodian,
Liberty Lass or
Spider?
some nonsense.
Yeah.
Orkin lady. It's an Orkin man.
I
don't
mean,
think she was,
technically,
like,
spiders
purely
eat
themed on-
mosquitoes. If we
Yeah,
make her
I
a
don't think
retired
she-
spider woman.
I don't-
You said
Yeah.
powerless though.
Yeah.
Not necessarily their arch and nemesis, more a matter of do they know about this thing?
Okay.
Oh yeah, they were probably like on the super team that fought them back
a
in
few
like
times.
the yeah.
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 Once they managed to have an army of multiple. Never did it before or since. Not sure how they did it, but it was the whole thing we needed to team up for.
Yeah, the publishing company fired that writer.
Yeah. They broke the rules of the villain. Okay. Was trapped in amber and has escaped into the city. This is fine. Killer Jewel was arrested. Captured. Okay. So I think we're almost done then. We as a team attracted the attention of a major media outlet within the city thanks to our efforts. Who are they and why do they support us?
I mean, do we really want a second major media outlet?
Yes.
This
Okay.
could be a sponsorship to your live cast.
Ooh.
Is it Red Bull but off-brand?
It's your question to answer, Marissa, for the whole thing.
Sponsored by
I mean-
BetterHelp.
The why do they support us? For me, I think it's a matter of spin. Yes, the museum was destroyed, but we also got this amazing person out of it who we wouldn't have had before. Yes, the museum was destroyed, but so were all of those horrible evil artifacts which we saw could do so much wrong, and this is much safer when they're in the middle of outer space, completely separated.
Yeah, we sent
from
them all into a black hole, and now they're literally in another dimension. Much safer.
For now.
Except the Dimensionator.
now.
That's a problem. But, yeah. Mom says
And I
it won't
think
bother
that
us for a
was
while.
of yeah, keyboard warriors are what helped make that spin more positive rather than the negative.
Okay, so this
We
is
should be
so the
sponsored by
media outlet
Reddit.
is your actual fan base. This is what caused it to sort of
I think
explode.
so. I think that if someone brings this up in a negative light, they will get into one of those like.
and
you
you
don't
thought it was safe to store all those villains where children were
there
going?
will be a heated argument with people who seriously care, whether that's online or in person. You do not question unless the entire fan base is questioning, basically.
Listen,
Yeah.
I hate to say this, but your fans are just Swifties. Like, is that? I think that's just it.
I think that might be what you're becoming as superhero Taylor Swift.
I mean, that matches the book I'm reading right now, so all right.
Superhero Taylor Swift.
This is mildly amusing because I know very little about Taylor Swift aside from the fact that she sings pop music and is dating some sort of footballer. I don't do pop culture.
Oh, it's sad because I
The
know a lot
best-
about
the
Taylor
best-
Swift.
There's a lot going on. The best thing is people bullying her about her jet, which is my personal favorite thing to bully rich people for
For
any
the
reason
jets.
whatsoever. But jets are a good, safe target to take pot shots at.
That's all right. She'll shake it off.
Okay.
Sure, it won't hurt.
So now let's call it harass people who dislike you.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. It's not positive. It's just...
Sweet. We have an army of trolls.
Yeah, awesome.
Mm.
We'll-
I'm
that will
not
dox
gonna
you and-
go
and swat you.
full on say they cyberbully, but they'll message unkind things.
There's a subsect of them who will cyberbully, but for the most part, everyone tries to not do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I think I know why I care about the team, because otherwise I'll be cyberbullied.
Yeah, because
don't wanna
I
be
can't
canceled.
reject.
I don't want to be canceled.
I think that's part of the reason why the
Because you
team came
destroyed
together.
the secret ancient silver sword or whatever.
I think part of the reason the team came together is people assumed it, people said it was happening, and we couldn't really undo at that point.
Just chat was just nothing but lines and lines of like emojis that was like a
New
team up.
team, Pog,
New team.
Pog.
Yeah.
So
And there was
why did we-
like you looked at your chat and there's already a poll for what the team name should be, even though none of you had discussed it yet.
It's like the superhero
When we
version of getting
got there,
shipped.
it was already chosen.
Yeah. Yeah, you first discovered this when your producer texted you a logo for
Yeah.
your team.
Are we the new metas?
I like the new meta actually as a team name.
Yeah. Forgive me with the goofiness of the one question I have left to answer. How do we keep in contact? I think Morg shows up when there's a case. I
Ooh.
think
Because
that's how
you
we
use your
find
detective
out.
powers to just appear in people's rooms and stuff.
Yeah, I appear in people's rooms or like out of their fridge or some like nightmare scenario.
I
That's
guess,
how
yeah, you can
know
just stay in their deep freeze because you don't have to care about staying in there.
I'm dead.
Yeah.
Listen, I think Mother Time will always know when you're coming and always have food ready for you.
Yeah, you open the deep freeze and there's like a popsicle there, like on a plate or something.
It's popsicle with a sticky note that says "Just for you, Morg. Love, MT."
It's in the shape of a tombstone.
Yeah, but like that's
so-
how we keep in contact. Morg finds you.
Yeah, you said that's public information, Morg, that you are dead.
Yeah, I'm Morg the haunted hero. I'm dead. That's what
Perfect.
people know about
We
me.
should talk about what dead means in this case. You said conveniently dead, so that's fine.
Yes.
Like we can just sort of play it by ear. Do you, when someone looks at you though, do you look dead?
Yes, I look dead.
Okay. Do you
Like
smell dead?
rotten dead?
Not rotten.
Just very
Not
pale
rotting.
and cold.
Rotting is inconvenient.
Rotting is pretty inconvenient. Yeah.
Can you
Unless
switch back
someone
to
needs to find you, then and you want them to find you, then it's convenient.
Yeah, I'm not rotting. No,
So
I can't come back to life. I'm dead. The dead
Do you
don't
just
come
look
back.
like the crow? Like
Is this like the warm body zombie guy where you're obviously
Yeah.
dead but like still hot for some reason?
Yes, yeah, I'm obviously hot. I'm a teenage superhero.
Yeah.
you look at the chat and go, "This is the skin of a killer."
I have a cool skull mask just to like do the superhero bit.
Perfect.
So, like my face isn't a skull, but I have a skull mask to like really play up that I'm dead.
Perfect. Yeah. I'll probably describe things like, and you almost feel your heart beat once when you
Yeah,
get some
basically.
feelings. Okay. I think let me check if there's anything
Oh,
else
wait, we have
should do.
relationships too.
We do have
Do you
relationships,
have a-
yeah.
do
Relationships
you
are
wanna
important
circle
and
back?
influence.
Mine are pretty easy for the relationships.
what were you saying, Marissa?
I would like to circle back around at the very end to why do you care about the team? Just because I've seen so many teams fall apart because they didn't.
Yeah, I have my answer is we got teamed, which is the equivalent of getting shipped as a superhero.
Perfect.
And it's also good to have PR when you have powers like me.
Oh,
so-
it's super important. I'm guessing that like both your mom and your trainer were like, "Yeah, go. You should go along with it."
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Have we answered why do you care about the team for everyone else, or do you want to revisit that
I'm just thinking we should revisit it at the end.
Yeah.
at the end of the whole thing?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I do have my relationships because it was 2,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
There's only mine were straightforward enough that it makes sense, especially with Glitch being like an outlier, being like a magic hologram bot. You and Blank teamed up a few times before the rest of you came together. That makes the most sense to be Void.
Mhm.
Because your mom wanted you to get field training, and I was one of the other like teenage superheroes around that she could get a hold of. Because obviously your mom knows what can get in contact with Justice Beam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Saw
it's like,
we
yeah,
had
you're
worked
going to
together
be
before.
helping out Justice Beam's protege for this mission or whatever. So we were placed together because we're in the same age bracket and have
It's like
big
when
superpower like mentee people.
yeah, when your parents like coworkers like come over and then they have a kid that they have to bring, but you're like the same age as the kid. It's like
Yeah.
that.
That, but for superheroes. Yeah.
Okay.
Your mentor is cautious. They ask you to keep an eye on Solar because you live stream all of our secrets.
Those are fairly straightforward questions. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Who wants to go next?
I
Mine
got-
are also reasonably easy.
Marissa?
So Blank might wind up being more of a star than me someday. I'm going to go with Arnova, whose name I have forgotten. Sorry.
The Void.
Void.
The
Is
Void.
it the Void or Void?
The Void.
Okay.
Or is
The
it D
Void.
apostrophe void?
Devoid.
The Void.
Just because they've got more of an ability to actually affect change. They've got the flashy powers, they might be more.
Okay.
And Blank would be a great sidekick. I tried to keep them around. Glitch, obviously. They were the person I found. They started by modeling themselves after me. That makes sense.
I have questions about both of those. So how do you feel about Void maybe like outshining you? Despite
I don't
not
mind.
putting in any work.
As
Okay.
long as they're doing it for a good reason, as long as they're setting a good example, I don't need to be the front of everything. I just need to make sure that people are getting the right message.
Okay. Have you let Glitch know that you see them as a sidekick?
I argue the way of that question. I don't like the word sidekick so
It's
much.
very intentional.
I know. I'm going to go with no because I don't know how much of like a sidekick it is. Again, it's kind of pulling from the more arrogant side of being a star that I'm not playing into as much.
Okay. Perfect. Jordan, you were
But
next. Oh.
I think there is still some of the unintentional. Yeah, they need to grow up and grow into this.
Yeah.
That is.
So it's more that you see yourself as a guide for them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have mine. Mine are pretty simple also. I have you hang out with Blank all the time to blow off. You hang out all the time with Blank to blow off steam. I put Glitch because I feel like you're the one person that doesn't make me feel weird.
That is saying something.
Yup.
See how it
And
is.
And then, well, also
you find being dead weird.
you once hurt Blank when you lost control of your powers. I gotta put Morg because you're someone who could take the punishment.
Yup.
I think you also blew my leg off.
Probably, but you just put another one on.
I
Yeah,
put it
just-
back together, but
Yeah.
you did
Sew it right
also,
on. It's fine.
You
I
did
have a thing
also
with
blow
black
my
holes
leg
in
up,
legs,
and you had a-
apparently. Yeah.
You had a
It's exactly
small-
like red markets. You always shoot them in the leg.
Not again. Oh, I'm fine. It's fine.
You
Okay,
had like
it's
a
fine.
very small breakdown about
Yeah.
it.
And then you quickly realize that he's fine.
Like I did it again.
You're
No.
freaking out. And you hear the sound of duct tape ripping.
Yep.
You're like it happens. It's all
It's a
right.
very monotone voice being like, hand me that super glue.
Yeah. I'm gonna sew it later when we're on downtime. Maybe get some staples. All right. Excellent. And Glitch.
Yeah. Well, first one should be easy, given the other answers. Blank is an exemplary human. They show you around and tell you how things work. That's going to be Solar.
Yeah.
I have a question on the second one. Given that we've previous experienced the Void, is he just as neurotic now as he was before?
I'm kind of taking away the like he kind of sees into possible futures too, and more just like yeah, I could throw black holes, and that's kind of a problem in and of itself.
Okay, but I'm just saying, like, the past trauma of like messing up, using your power, hurting people.
Mhm.
You hurt your brother.
Yeah.
Um,
I think he can be a little paranoid about like I gotta like really only use it when I have to use it.
Okay. Well, my second one is the behavior of blank confuses you again and again. You're determined to understand humanity better by studying them. Morgue is an interesting answer here.
Yes, I do keep getting killed again, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're like I see you always get killed. How you come back? You go, I
You
don't know.
keep telling me to not get shot in the heart, but then you seem to ignore that rule.
You say stay away from sharp objects, yet you walked into the blender.
So yeah, I think I'll go with Morgue on that second one. I just don't understand how they work, and how. Yeah, it seems all known laws of physics and indeed life have just decided to stop working around you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Really throws a wrench in your way of learning how humanity.
How to be a live,
Yep.
living human.
Perfect. We'll just study them and do what they're not doing because they're not
Yeah,
alive.
it's just like, so you had to learn real fast not to just show up in people's bedrooms when you needed them.
Yeah.
That took a little
Yeah.
bit to learn.
But he
You
does
can't
it.
just
I
show
know.
up.
We've tried to talk to him about
Yeah,
it.
it's fucking creepy. Just stop.
Just use the door.
You don't have to crawl through the air vents every time you come into my room.
Yep. Okay.
then we have
Lastly is
influence, right?
influence. And
Oh yeah.
do we want to do influence now or do why we care about the team first? Marissa, you mentioned.
I'm good with influence next.
'Kay.
Because that's kind of
Newborn's easy.
I will just continue on with mine. Everyone take influence
Oh.
over me.
Yep. You're receptive to how people think and behave around you.
mine is essentially the same. I get to pick whether or not I see the team as a means to the end or something worthwhile on its own. I see it as something worthwhile on its own. Give influence to 3 teammates.
Oh.
Wow. What
Yeah.
a
Oh, okay.
I would love it if we had a 5th player and you're like, who doesn't get
Who doesn't?
influence? Yeah. Okay. What about the other two?
Oh, mine are pretty easy. Choose your demeanor, playful or business. See, business would make sense, but I do think the showing up in your bath is playful. So
It does. You actually do sound more playful. I'd say
Yeah.
even if you
It's a spooky mask, goofy character.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Like he shows up behind you doing this.
Yeah. It's overly business playful, is what it is.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
But anyway, I give influence to 2 teammates. It can't be Solar because I've been specifically told that you're going to ruin my undead life. So it's the other 2. It's
Okay.
Glitch and it's Glitch and Void.
Mine is also choose your demeanor, happy facade or locked down. I feel like I'd be more like I'm like the emo of the group,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is saying a lot because there's a dead guy on the team. So I think I'll give my influence to Morgue because you're the one person I literally can't kill if I try.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm like, oh, all right, we'll be friends because you're the only one I can't hurt.
Sweet.
You could hurt me.
Kill is not hurt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
So, with all of that established, let's go around and do one more. Why do you care about the team? You might be restating your answer, but Jordan,
And
we're
then,
with you already. Yes. Oh,
I was gonna ask. So, also for our labels, do we shift one up? I think so because it says some of the labels should be 3.
Yeah, all of them at creation add +1 wherever they choose.
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So you have the starting labels based on your playbook, and then every character can add a +1 to one of them.
Okay. I shifted my mundane from -1 to 0 because I'm weird, but with this group, not that weird.
I actually did the same. I shifted my mundane up.
All right. Then if the other two did that as well, Jordan, the void.
Sorry, I'm just tracking my dots. I'm at 2. I'm trying to think what I should shift up.
Let me take a look.
I shifted my savior.
Yeah.
I think you're freak. It's already a
Yeah.
+1, but like it fits.
It's a 0. Freak is 0.
Your freak is 0?
Oh,
I'd
no,
probably,
I
would
was
shift
looking
that.
at the wrong page because it's about
Yeah, but I do think freak 1, savior 1, superior 2, danger -1.
Yeah, you can take a hit, but you can't really fight back, Mo.
No, I have dead person level strength.
Yeah. Okay.
You're still a guy. You're just
Yeah, as much strength as an average corpse would have.
Yep.
And just so it's stated, my labels are Danger 1, Freak 2, Savior 1, Superior 1, and Mundane -2. Quite obviously, because I don't understand people, so I can't.
That makes sense.
I could say my labels, but with my experience, they are not going to stay the same within like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not putting them on
so-
stream in any
Yeah.
text format because those will not stay the same at all. Okay. So let's go back to the void to restate or state in the first place. Why do you care about the team?
I care about the team because I got superhero shipped with them, and it's good to have PR when you have powers like me. And also, we kind of complement each other, you know?
Okay. So yeah, seems like there's a lot of green lights there, but you're not super invested yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Solar. Why do you care about the team?
I think it's a matter of we work together reasonably well. We seem to have been shipped, but more a matter of that I see like we can do more good together than we can apart. And I think there's a certain level, not of like I can guide them toward the good, but more a matter of we can learn from each other.
Okay. Excellent.
Besides, that way there's somebody else who is around who is giving me any sort of superhero training because I don't have that. I have no mentor. I have no.
You
I'm
feel
modeling
like
myself off of
someone.
what I am seeing on TV.
You
of
feel like a
superheroes.
beacon who's been thrust into the role of a star.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
My idea of what a hero looks like is what I've seen on TV. So.
Yeah. Morg. Why do you
Hmm.
care about the team?
I have 2 reasons now. 1, it keeps me out of the tower. Very important. 2, hard to make friends when you're dead.
That's true.
Surprisingly, not a lot of other dead people are talkative. All
Yeah.
introverts.
No one wants to hang out with a corpse.
Yeah.
Something about you unnerve me, you make me face my own mortality. All
I
that
don't see
nonsense.
you blink, you don't breathe.
Can't really have food or go out for meals together when you don't eat. It's yeah.
Yeah. So like those are my only friends, and one of them live streams their life to the internet, and another one is barely a person, more of like a sentient hologram that can kill you.
And the other one has destroyed you with a black hole before.
Yeah, the other one keeps blowing bits off.
Just friends like these.
Better than no friends.
Everyone needs a peer group.
Okay. And lastly, Glitch. Why do you care about the team?
Because they acted like heroes when we first met, and my only lens into what the world is through the actions of previous heroes. And you know, they're willing to teach me how all of this stuff works.
Okay, I like it. So, anything else you want to talk about before we go? We mentioned Halcyon City, and I think we haven't really established details about other non-Justice Beam superheroes.
Yeah,
but
I want to know how heroes work. What do
Yeah.
heroes do in Halcyon City?
Us, do we want to do, what we look like?
That's a good idea. This been
Oh, yeah.
Skull Mask has been mentioned, but yeah. we should describe ourselves or look. Marissa, you brought it up. You go first.
Yeah.
Sure. So, Kay is a black lady. She is maybe 15, 16, something around that. If I'm looking at this casual clothing, but when we're looking at the costume, we are looking at the white spandex suit and a cape, because why not?
Very
Oh,
sort of
and
modeled after, like, similar to older generations of superheroes in terms of
And
costume.
we're going with a domino mask, because of course one has to sort of try and keep a secret identity.
Okay.
We'll see how well that one works.
Pupils are just straight white eyes.
I'm
It's an
literally
important superhero question.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When you're wearing the
Lit-
mask, what does it look like?
I like the idea of tech that just goes straight white eyes, because that makes it a lot easier to actually
Oh, this isn't
have
a
some...
tech thing. This is like an art style if you were in a comic. Like,
It could be
Ah,
both. It could be both, like the art style, but also there's tech behind
Yeah.
it that you can read the
it's
chat
up to you.
as.
I like the idea that the costume was very, very inspired by the Golden Age, and it's just a matter of back then it was straight, here, have like a piece of paper around your eyes, and now it's like, no, I've got the actual tech on this mask, so it actually does hide identity a little bit.
But does it like emote while keeping the pupils white?
No, it's just white.
Okay.
Yeah.
So. Cool. Who you were handing off the ball to next?
Backwards order to the void.
Yeah. The Void is male. He's white. He has normal skin. And he wears dark clothing, and he has a homemade costume. I have art I chose. So the first one is like streetwear. He's definitely always like in like a jacket, like a dark jacket. And then when he has to suit up, he'll throw on like some weights, because you need to be weighed down if you're throwing around
That's
black
fair.
holes. And then just like a black helmet, essentially, because I like to imagine that he's like a cool kid, or he tries to be a cool kid, and he rides a motorcycle to school.
Perfect. So lots of black and purple I'm seeing.
Hmm.
Both clothes and costume.
Yeah.
Okay. So safety weights, black helmet. Cool. Who's next?
Just toss it to the deadhead.
I'm trying to figure out a way to reflavor lean buddy.
Lithe, just thin or
Not live.
bony,
Bony.
Emaciated.
emaciated, starved, maybe.
We're gonna go for
Dehydrated.
yeah, I look dead. I'm trying to figure out cadaverous
Dead body.
Cadaverous body, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that works.
Cadaver.
We're alive. What did you sort of look like?
Yeah. Do you look? Or,
A bit more
I'm guessing
plump.
you look very pale.
Thank you.
Cadaverous body.
Are you pale or green? Like what color are we going with here?
Yeah, it could be green or like a yellow.
Pale green.
Okay.
Mm. Yummy.
Pale green skin. What about hair? How much? Like hair was already dead, so it's
Pale
probably
green skin, black hair.
okay.
Is it longer than it should be? Because everyone thinks like
Because
know
you're
the
yeah.
hair keeps growing, but it's actually the skin shrinking.
You probably cut your
No,
fingernails,
it's
so that's probably
still-
not an issue.
It's
You don't have to get
still like
haircuts ever again.
No more haircuts.
Issue
I
is if
think
you
I
ever
still get
lose your
haircuts
hair,
because
you're
it
never
grows
gonna.
back. It would be more inconvenient if the hair didn't grow back.
I'm really curious. to
One
see how-
errant fireball, and you're just bald for the rest of your life.
I'm thinking the haunted hero makes the most sense, being like a teenage boy. Because it feels. Yeah, he's a dude. Hellebore's a
So-
guy. That works.
On the hair issue, do you use prosthetics to either enhance the dead look or make yourself look a bit more alive, like a wig or anything like that?
I was thinking I just walk around dead in like street clothes and no mask, and I have
Okay.
a skull mask.
I-
It's like the worst Clark Kent version.
I was gonna
of,
ask.
like,
I should
there's
ask about
only
how
one
secret
dead
identity
guy
works.
We all know who. There's only one dead guy who walks around this city, and you're really gonna tell me it's not you?
I mean, some people might look, let's call it unhygienic. People have all sorts
Yeah.
of smells and looks. I don't think you'd stand out that much.
Yeah.
Depends
I'm
on
sure
actually
I'm-
no, that'll depend on where in the city you're, because it's definitely like split up by neighborhood.
We have decided there's districts. We have talked about that. Boo-boo.
Yeah.
So yeah, I normally wear casual clothes, I guess, because dead kids don't go to school. And then yeah, I have a detective trench coat.
Wait, are you just Mr. X? Is that what you look like?
Detective trench coat. I don't know who that is. Detective trench coat. Go.
Resident Evil.
Man.
Oh, maybe not as big, but I see
Not as
it.
big, but yeah, here. Copy image. Mr. X.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
he's
like
literally
that's a
he's like a pro like bodybuilder,
yeah, that's a
undead trench coat
bodybuilder.
guy,
He's
but he
big.
is undead in a trench coat.
Yes, I am also undead in a trench coat.
How's your
but-
hat?
Not as buff.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I have the detective fedora. Like, it's a
The
comic
noir.
book superhero. Like, you are a comic book detective that doesn't have like a theme.
Mm.
So yeah, obviously, I have to look the whole part.
Skull mask.
Yeah, there's a skull mask.
Beautiful.
Excellent. Okay.
Oh,
Glitch.
milky eyes.
Okay.
Milky.
So yeah, as I mentioned, Glitch is a composite of most of the interactions he had with people at the museum. Given what the museum is, I'm gonna go with the trope of mostly nerds went there. Like, you know, he's sort of a more wiry looking teenage male. Does not wear a superhero costume because he does not currently think of himself as a superhero. He knows what the definition of that is, and he knows at least he is not that. So it's, you know, sneakers, jeans, a t-shirt with a flannel over it, you know, short sleeve flannel shirt.
Is it a superhero T-shirt?
No, it's blank.
Mm.
Actually, I have another.
Mostly
question.
because the filters on the hologram did not allow for advertising that wasn't being paid for.
Of course.
Perfect.
Do we all go to high school together, or I'd assume we don't?
I know Morg doesn't go to school.
No,
Yeah.
That's
I
another thing
don't
we should
think
talk about
Glitch
is
does
how,
either.
like, how, in what ways, and specifically in what structures are we going to deal with regular teenage life? Because it is a part of what's going on here. But how much of it that is school and how much of that is not? 'Cause some of you guys do go to school
Oh.
then, I imagine.
Morg does go to the mall a lot.
Okay, perfect.
Morgan gets a part-time job at the mall.
Yeah, I work at like Auntie Anne's or something.
You work at the 4th Auntie Anne's in the mall.
I mean, I think I do go to school, but we don't really have any parts of the game that tie into school. We definitely are tying more into family.
That's
So-
true.
And I have an excuse. I can use my stepmom as I get out of school free pass to basically say, yeah, okay, I'm gone, and I have someone who's going to make whatever cover story for me that matters.
You just flashed your hero. You can just flash your hero
It could-
badge to your principal.
Yeah, there's I go to school and none of the school knows I'm a hero, and then there's I go to school and the teachers know I'm a hero, but the other students don't. And there's I go to school but everyone knows I'm a hero, which no one I think
You
is
know, I'm
doing.
thinking I'm going
Not
to have
sure
to just
about
drop the secret identity thing. I do not think it is going to work. I will have the mask. keep that, but there is no way I actually have any kind of secret identity at this point.
Okay.
So you go to
maybe
school,
we
but
all
everyone knows
don't
you're a
go
hero,
to school.
or you don't go to school.
I go to school. Everyone knows I'm a hero, and I'm trying desperately to, don't treat me different. Thank you. That definitely is working, I'm sure.
Okay, perfect.
You see, I like the idea of Void being like the rich kid that goes to school because like his mom's a superhero, so he would
You
have
go to
money.
private. Do you go to
You go
private
to the
superpower school?
the private kids of superheroes where like having superpowers is not guaranteed, but common enough that there's rumors about like everyone that they might have secret superpowers.
I think maybe he just gets homeschooled.
You could just get
Like-
homeschooled. Like your mom would be
You did say
an
helicopter.
unbearable homeschool teacher.
Oh my god! I didn't even think that his mom would homeschool him. That is amazing. Yes, he's homeschooled by his mom, and which is so funny because she's teaching him normal human stuff, and then he has a tutor to teach him superhero stuff.
Yep.
And
Uh,
can glitch be a part of your homeschooling?
Sure.
You
With
think
your
that would be
brother?
allowed? Like,
Yeah.
like,
How where is Glitch living? What requirements does Glitch need to live? It's just like a
Oh
power
yeah, do
outlet.
you live in like a digivice?
When can Glitch die? If he is shot in the heart.
I mean, yeah,
Are we
glitch
to
is
blame?
technically just a
There it is.
hard.
We already
light,
missed it the other one.
If you're a hard light construct, you can correct me obviously if I'm wrong. My closest example is the Doctor from Star Trek Voyager who can only exist in certain spaces. Do you have something that projects your hard light? Do you have
No,
a
it was-
phylactery?
No, it was the hologram itself like became sentient. It wasn't
Okay.
like the projector that, you know.
Okay, so you
You're
are
not
detached
tethered.
from your source.
Yes.
And given that you have hard light projection as one of your powers, do you need to like absorb other light to heal and rebuild yourself? Is that how it would work if something sort of damaged your hard light body?
So there is another power. We could answer that when I take the move.
Okay, perfect.
There's a
Or
move
when you
that
are
gives me
damaged.
another condition called
Yeah.
damage.
So the that makes sense. So in
I
that
do
case,
wonder-
we'll say the holograph is your true body. It's not a projected body, but it can also kind of go anywhere because it's your true body.
Hmm.
I do wonder if you're fireproof.
I also wonder if you sleep.
I don't think he does. I think like while everyone else is sleeping, Glitch is like watching TV and getting the wrong idea.
Yeah. No, different
You're watching
channel.
Maury.
Different channel.
I was going to say, Hellebore also doesn't sleep, but I do have a morgue and I am dead and I do detective work, so I do think it's either you watch TV and get the wrong ideas, or you watch autopsies and get the wrong idea.
I think
guess, yeah, you
probably
might-
a little of both. Yeah.
Yeah, I think probably like if you get bored of watching TV, you'll go to the mall. But otherwise, I think maybe you just live with me in my guest room.
No, I live with that other that other hero.
Oh, but you
I'm,
come to
Yeah,
I'm
you live with the
assuming that her
caretaker.
and your mother
Oh,
are connected in some
Probably.
way.
Yeah. We just want to call her Golden Gal, like as a placeholder name.
Golden Gal.
I'll come up with the suitably
Am I referencing
horrible
something
name.
I don't know?
Golden Girls.
Oh.
Good girls,
Oh,
obviously.
right.
That
That's
was
a
the
show.
superhero team. It's
I
Mother
don't
Time.
want anything to do with that superhero team. Listen, B. Arthur is a villain in any reality.
Right. Well, let me know. I think then we should briefly chat about Halcyon, and then we're good.
And possibly where we're going with the levels of PG and rating, simply because death is very on
Death
the
has been
table.
brought up. We have established that in the past teenagers have been shot and killed, even if they got better.
Yeah, they got up again.
Somehow,
Yeah.
through the life
you-
laser.
Yeah.
You ain't never
So
gonna keep them down.
I think in terms of rating, I don't know what rating this would be, but I think I do want death to be occasionally during dramatic moments to be on the table. This would include being shot. This also might include disappearing from the timeline, being sucked into a black hole forever, or other methods of being effectively dead.
Yeah. I think it's still probably frowned upon pretty strongly, but not like we're not going out there to superhero and kill people.
You're also
Right.
correct, and you're also not going to be really at threat of death from random nameless criminal with a gun. Like,
It'd be like
this
named
isn't
supervillain.
Daredevil, like where
Yeah.
you can get shot by anyone.
Yeah, I do think setting-wise, I agree with the concept of death is on the table for us at large dramatic moments from named people.
Yeah.
But like not from randos on the street. That's fine. I do think setting-wise, heroes aren't allowed to kill people. Like
Yeah, I think
they do, but the official line is that heroes don't kill people.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're like
there's a big, basically the same protections as civilians do. We're like in extreme circumstances of defense of yourself, or maybe another if you're a hero or something like that, when there's no other choice, and even then it's investigated.
but I like to imagine that it still happens, but if it's like found that the hero's at fault, there's nothing they can do. So it's like a Disneyland, like no one's pronounced dead on Disney property. They
Yeah,
have to be
Just
taken
like
off property.
there's no deaths in Justice
It's
Dean's
just always
district.
an accident,
Yeah.
basically. Oh,
It's
they were-
always like an accident, or like, oh, we gave him like this weird drug he had an allergic reaction to. So it's like they're dead, but it's not the fault of the hero.
Interesting.
Now I really want to kill someone.
I guess the question about this, and I think part of the that is a
I mean-
quote out of
That would be
context.
perfect
That
for
is
like
a
the
quote.
live stream hero. Just
Yeah.
like, and then she killed someone on live.
I just wanted to experience it. Yeah.
There we go.
Morg, you wouldn't mind being a
putting it-
test subject, right?
I'm putting it in chat. Quoted.
Perfect.
I have a question about the setting.
Yes.
How do heroes make money?
Oh, probably like selling their likeness, or like writing books.
How, I guess,
Do you
What's
get
how the
business-
boys do we want to get this? Do we want to...
Yeah, what's the business of superheroing? Is there like a government hero stipend? Can you claim reward money for major criminals?
Yeah,
bounties,
this is a
like-
bounty system. This could be a rating system. This
do you
could
get
be...
paid for patrolling an area? Like, do you sign up for like, I'm in charge of this district and I can allocate funds for defense?
Well, that then brings up another question. Like Aegis is a thing inside of Halcyon City.
Yeah.
Right.
Is
I
they're
think
basically
Aegis
like
should
the-
still be a thing.
okay.
I think they might be the ones who also handle the hero licensing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it's probably through them. You get like, here's like an amount to live off of. But maybe a lot of heroes go like, oh, I'm gonna do a tell-all book, or I'm gonna sell my likeness for toys, or the idea I had for Void's mom is she runs the stock market because she knows what
Yeah.
stocks are gonna boom,
That
I
what
feels
stocks
think
are gonna
illegal.
crash.
most
That
of
feels
Aegis...
very illegal.
I feel that most of Aegis's power is that if they don't like you and if you get blacklisted by them, you get cut off from all of that. So like you basically lose out. You get blacklisted from merchandising. Your toys get like destroyed. Like they basically are able to leverage the ability to make money as a superhero.
So is Aegis then paying the superheroes, and when you register, you hand over your likeness to them so they can merchandise you?
I think-
Ooh.
What were you
I
about to
think
say,
you have
Nico?
an option to hand over your likeness, and pretty much everyone does because it's an incredible pay boost. And normally it's like, okay, have a minimum wage job because we recognize this is dangerous.
I don't think it would be minimum wage. It'd probably be actually, it would pay quite a bit, but also would presumably cost quite a bit to maintain your own. Like you handle your own suits. You're effectively, you're not even considered an
For any
independent
damages that
contractor.
you make,
But
and
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I like to think that also when they register the villains after the villains are locked up, they use the villain's likeness. That's like, hey, this is how we're paying back for your crimes. Like that's how they make money.
that would be interesting. I've always been confused as to why there are villain it's like in real life it would be toys of like a serial killer or toys of a terrorist or something like that. Like I don't think anyone would buy that believably. People buy like soldier and police toys all the time, but no one buys criminal toys.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say that you hand over an identity to Aegis when you sign up for it. But like if you wanted to work as an unofficial, like if you want to be a vigilante, you can do it, but you have to come up with a whole new persona that is disconnected from your like main registered one. So like some people do operate
Yeah, like a
outside
stage
of
name.
Aegis, but you have to be independently wealthy. Like you don't get the support system. Technically, you can get arrested for doing like your vigilanteism still.
Because you can't use the hero card because it's the wrong persona.
Yeah.
Mm.
I like that. Also, there's
So it's
probably
like-
some
it's
weird underground trading of persona identities or something like that.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
persona is the
Those
thing
might
that
be a-
Aegis has control and power over.
I like that.
You are still treated as your secret identity.
That fits masks
outside
really
of it.
well. Okay.
So it's like the music industry, right? Like, so you've got like people that sign up with
Yeah.
record labels,
The,
and then you got
the
independent
vigilante
artists.
formerly
Yeah.
known as blank would totally be a thing that would happen sometimes. Where,
Yeah,
like,
the
it's, they
superhero
can
formerly
never
known
publicly
as.
confirm it, but like rumors and photographs and videos are like, oh, they have a fighting style just like that retired hero from a few years ago. Okay.
And yeah,
I think what's
do-
really interesting about that is Solar's live podcasting might just bypass that. And that might be what's like disruptive about that.
I will say that one of the options I had on the audience was
Money.
you earn a lot of money from their interest, which I specifically did not choose. I'm not sure if I'm looking at advancements, if I can just pick another thing. No, I can't. So technically, I can't just unlock and then they pay me now, but also a lot of my moves are interact with your audience. So if we end up getting a sponsor or just calling for audience support because we need money to repair this thing, that's very much an option.
Mm.
Go fund me, superhero.
So you can
Hank.
open up a Patreon.
Yeah, I can. Absolutely, I can. However, a lot of my interact with my audience there has a lot of options for negative repercussions.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a very delicate thing to handle. Okay, so I
Here's
think
my Amazon wish list.
yeah,
Oh,
I don't.
there's a carrot and a stick too on that. Mark potential and expect retribution. It says.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, Aegis is going to be this interesting, like probably, I would still call them lawful neutral, like entity, that handles all of this.
I mean, they haven't hauled in Justice Beam yet, so
Well, they might not publicly know. It depends.
publicly, no one knows about.
Publicly,
the
no one
murder rate.
knows. Privately, you don't know how much people know. Justice Beam is very good at putting things together, which hypothetically means they're very good at hiding things, even from Aegis. But it is Aegis.
Mm.
I think there's a wing of them that's I think they're, if they need to, they can probably take in a like hero that's gone rogue. This is very rare nowadays. It's probably been decades since they've had to do that, publicly at least. But I think that they can do that if needed. I guess the other thing is how prolific, how common is crime in the city is another question.
How
think
common
that
is crime
varies.
and how common is super crime?
That's true.
Ooh,
How
that's a good question.
I think I would actually propose that super crime is not necessarily more common than crime, because it's either way, it's a thing that you would really look at with the type of heroes that you are, but it is relatively everyday. That's in the book as well.
Yeah, I like the idea of super crime, but it's still like, you know, the ironmonger has robbed the convenience store, right? Like, like there's still like that level of crime that we're dealing with.
Yeah, well, what I was thinking is all crime leads back to a superpower.
Yeah.
More so that, like, if there is, not that all criminals are supers or have, like, hero level powers or whatever,
Right.
but at the head of every street gang, there is someone with a power, like they have or the leader has a team of, like, higher power enforcers or something. So there is
Yeah.
no
There are always powers involved
simply-
at some point in crime.
Yeah, there is no simply mundane criminal activity. No one is foolish enough to go against like the powers of the city just as like four regular dudes with some ski masks.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Spider-Man video game universe, where
Yeah,
you
like-
got this, all these people, but they are at the head of a gang.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Fisk is totally not super powered, even though he's been, pushed through building concrete walls without even flinching.
He's just really big boned.
He's just really big boned and
He's built like a
maybe
wall.
adamantium plated, just like Wolverine, honestly, with how he acts.
Who knows?
Okay, no, I think that fits. I guess I would say I guess we want to probably say it varies per district on how safe people feel.
Yeah.
Do most superheroes have their own turf, basically, like Justice Beam, or do they wander more? Justice Beam, I think, I like the idea of him being notable in that he has a set range within his tower, and everyone else wanders, but I'm not sure.
I kind of like that too.
We can see how this plays out, but like they have mentioned all of the playbooks mention the concept of Paragon of the City.
Yeah.
I think Paragon of the City is the level where you get a district or a specific list of like responsibilities. So like maybe there's an underwater hero that patrols the harbor or something.
Okay,
Like,
so that's when
Paragon of
you
the
like if we're talking about Aegis again, that might be when when maybe not Aegis specifically, but like the city government is like, okay, we're gonna ask you to and hire you directly to patrol this area. It's a
at
promotion.
that point that Justice Beam went off the rail.
Yeah.
And they
Justice
couldn't
Steve didn't
really
do all the murder
control
until he got a
him.
tower and no one was looking over his shoulder anymore.
Yeah. Okay. So Paragon of the City is being promoted to
The like
patrol a
highest
specific district.
tier of
There are some
highest-
people who are Paragons of the City, and a lot of people who aren't, then, I'm guessing.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think that Paragon of the City is pretty rare. Like, it's under 10 for sure, maybe under 5 usually.
Yeah, there's like 5 to 9 of
Okay.
these
Yeah.
super. But like we don't know exactly who's all on the roster of Paragon of the City.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
that
like a
makes sense.
title.
Justice Beam himself, because of the tower, would be the only obvious one.
Yeah, like I'm sure there's a couple other ones that are like, we're big name heroes. Like the guy that has 7 race cars with his face on them. Like, yeah, we know who that one is.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
It might be a little bit coy around it in some cases.
Yeah, because they might not want to be like, hey, here's where I'm patrolling, and
Yeah.
here's the
Like,
times I
oh yeah,
patrol.
I'm like 1 block away from that. You can't get me, because I don't think that's true into how they
You're
would
out
work.
of my jurisdiction.
Yeah. Yeah, I suspect the heroes would not
Care.
follow that anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So most heroes aren't that, and most of them sort of are anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
how common is non-hero powers? Like
Heroes without powers?
or no, like supers without
Oh,
heroicism.
ordinary supers?
Oh,
I am tempted to say not.
Basically none.
I'm tempted to say basically none in this.
Like I'm sure there's a couple like movie stars or like famous to some other degree that have powers, but like that's super rare.
I would
there's
say
a
that
couple-
socially, if you have powers, you are expected to be a hero. And if you publicly reveal yourself to have powers, people will ask, were you a hero in a certain mask before? And if not, why not? Is kind of that tone you would get from public outcry.
I think you also would, like, you are supposed to have registered. You may not have sold your likeness, but your name should still be on that list, is another social stigma there.
Okay.
Because there's a list and a social stigma about not being a superpower, is there superpower drafts? Is there threats big enough that they call the back line?
I think so. I think that's the reason
That
why
would
you
be
have
the
a list of names and
Galactus,
powers.
the Galactus
Yeah,
like
like
thing.
this is a Earth level threat. here's all the people we're calling in
Yeah.
to like
yeah.
help
Okay.
with this.
He just can call out the crossover event.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
The
I'm
multiverse
seeing
is
a degree of the
crumbling.
One Punch Man system. It doesn't have the rating system, but it usually doesn't alert whenever there's a big threat, so everyone can go.
Yeah.
Okay. Who? I'll write that down.
And because it's society, and this is how any society works, there's going to be a group of individuals with powers that refuse to register.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
absolutely.
They're just probably called like the underground or something.
Yeah. The Independents or something might be. I don't know.
You're trying to build the Brotherhood of Mutants. Like that's
Yeah, basically.
Yep. A group of unregistered heroes. But would they be vigilantes, or are you saying they just are people with superpowers who are trying to live their normal lives with
If they're
superpowers?
not registered, they're
I think
Probably
it's
both.
either. Yeah.
Yeah, it's people that just want to be left alone. Mostly, they don't want the interference.
Okay.
Or maybe, yeah, like I also imagine people who have superpowers, but they're not like. It's like, oh, my superpower is when I do that, I have a flame from my finger.
Yeah.
But that's it.
It's great. Dot dot dot.
Okay.
I mean, everyone who has a superpower has basically said, "I don't know how I got it," with the one probably genetics in our group. So
I think I might say
definitely
this isn't like My Hero Academia quirks. If we're going with this with superhero comic books, for the most part, there are no small powers that you can't fight with, as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
So I think let's
there's
state
that one X-Men who can blow up once.
There's that guy. There's the guy who, as soon as you look away from him, forget about him.
X-Men is
I love X-Men powers. They're so good.
a
I just
metaphor
really
that
can't-
isn't meant for normal superheroes compared to other superhero comics. I don't know if I'd call X-Men is a subset of superhero comics, like it's a specific type of it, but it isn't the first place my mind goes to when I think of it.
Yeah. Or there's the X-Men who can learn any language, who they later retcon to include karate because he was useless. Like they retconned him to include karate and hacking
And
just
karate.
to give him utility in the story.
Yeah, and body language.
I
Yeah, so
speak the language
maybe-
of violence.
Maybe there's like the underground people are people who don't want to register and still like want to try and do good. And there's also the
It's-
people who want to register to like just live
wanna
normal
use
life.
Their powers.
And it's
They-
also the blacklisted people, the people
could
that
be.
were registered and fucked up,
Yeah.
It's like I melted a bus, but I also stopped the giant space monster from crushing everyone else.
Yeah, okay.
The bus was filled with people, though, so.
Not on official reports.
Listen, no one's going to miss those 72 nuns, all right?
That's all good. I think I have a good idea of the city and your guys' place in it.
Yeah, and I do think we've kind of danced around it, but as far as what the team does, I'm thinking we solve crime.
Yeah.
I think you do. I think you solve crimes. I think
some level of detecting, some level of frontline. Let's deal with these villains and
Yeah.
deal with
Yeah.
our own problems too.
yeah. I think
them
there's a
see more.
degree. I think I don't think I'm going to introduce that now. I think I'm going to introduce that during play.
Always good to hear from a GM.
I was about to ask
do you
you.
need more? Do you need more villains? I can come up with more.
Oh, I
villains.
have a few villains. I also have a few heroes. The one I think I'm gonna go with that I'm just gonna tell you about as my idea is their name is Hot Wheel. They're a race car hero. Their ability
Race car hero.
they're the race
okay.
car hero who can specifically remote control a bunch of different vehicles at once.
Not transform into a race
No.
car.
They
You just
That's a
can
different hero.
drive they can remotely drive all sorts of vehicles.
hold on. Like it's autokinesis.
Autokinesis, yeah. Except that might be moving yourself. I don't know.
I don't. It's awesome.
Vehiculonesis.
Vehiculonesis.
Mechanikinesis.
Mechanikinesis.
So they patrol around in a like loud, you can hear it miles away sports car.
Yeah, so I imagine that like you come to us with like, hey, here's a string of robbery, and then we go to investigate with you, and then it turns out, oh, they're robbing these Radio Shacks to make a radio dish to contact aliens. We got to stop them, right? Like something like that.
Yeah,
I think investigation is definitely a part of it, but I'm not sure how well Masks is built to around actually
specifically because one of Morg's abilities is to use detective
Investigate.
powers. That means that you can use Freak to unleash your powers to learn to figure stuff out. It's not quite the same thing. This is assess a situation is an immediate specific situation going on, but if you want to change your environment to okay, we know where to go now, and we're there or something like that, you can
That is so
detective
good.
your way
That is so
to
good.
just
You could
yeah. Well, that's how
you
he
just
appears
go-
in people's freezers. He unleashes his detective powers to appear in people's freezers. It's narrative teleporting, basically. It's the skip forward button until you get to where you need to
Oh
go.
my
Yeah, I
God.
figured like any background investigating we have to do, Morg does all the legwork, and
Yeah.
then
We skip
we
the
have
like days and
firepower
days of you
Trinity.
being careful and carefully
Yeah.
like watching things.
Yeah, we have the
You with the
firepower
newspaper and putting
Trinity
it
that we're
down
gonna
and then-
use to blow up any problem that we get across.
Yeah, no, that's actually what the detective powers are going to be very helpful for us if we're doing detective
It's
work.
just flashbacks.
It's just unleash your powers to find out who did it. There we go.
That'll
Yeah,
work.
I have a feeling like all of my advancements are gonna be combat focused just to keep up.
We'll see. I mean, power scaling is not really a thing in this.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
one of the things and complaints I've heard about fire powers is you get people in two camps: people who can take a hit from a fireball and it does not phase them, or people who will die immediately and you
Oh.
cannot use power.
To me,
So
that
we
would
might be
primarily
fine
be
for
civilian or any superpowered individual. This is
Yeah.
we're probably going to go with the like what most superpowered stuff is, which is being hit with a fireball feels like being punched or something like that, and you go flying back
Yeah.
for some reason.
It makes so much
It's how it would work in
sense, but that
comic
also
books.
makes
It's how it
me
works in Avatar, except that one scene, two scenes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
and then we got to deal with black holes.
and then we got to deal with black holes, which is
Yes, and then we'll throw spaghettification into the mix and see what happens.
yeah. Just put them in a white hole afterwards, and they'll unspaghettify. I'm sure
yeah.
they'll be fine.
It's
We-
like
I wormhole
rehydrating meat. That's
Yeah.
I wormhole them to the unspaghetti dimension, and then that's how they get
Yes.
unspaghettied.
Yeah,
Yes,
they just
the wormhole of you're alive now.
yeah.
How do two separate people have the "you're alive now" power that is not connected to life? And anyway,
Okay, I think we're good.
Yeah,
We
this is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I do want to point out, just to clarify, dead is not a common ability in Halcyon City.
yes. No, you are unique in that aspect. It is
Yes.
not anywhere else. It is not in the
Not a
playbooks.
common thing.
Playbook recommended powers.
They gave me. I spent forever like flipping through playbooks. Which playbook with a blank space for power is the one I'm most interested in? That's how I started the search. I picked dead first, and then found a playbook with a blank power slot that I could put it on.
Perfect. Well, I think we're ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay. So, next week I believe we're not available, if I'm not mistaken. So, in 2 weeks we shall debut the first issue of we
need a
need to
teammate.
decide.
Yeah,
Then we'll do that over the week.
We'll have
do
2
that
weeks.
over the weeks.
Maybe we'll have time for that, but yes, we'll be seeing how the first case goes of the new Detective Comics. I'm sure that's not taken.
The new investigative
Issues.
Toonies.
Yeah. Yeah. Then thank you everyone for watching. We're ending a bit early because we're just doing session 0 this week, but we'll be back in 2 weeks to see this in action.
Cool.
This is going to take forever to think of a name. Bye.
Yep.
That's why 2 weeks.